And we welcome you from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. We are set for baseball tonight. A big crowd filing in Miller Park. It is the Cincinnati Reds and the Milwaukee Brewers. It is game 2 of this 4-game divisional showdown. And how about we take you back? We bring up an old face, a friendly face, Jeff Cirillo, a career .307 hitter with 8 seasons with Milwaukee, a 2-time All-Star, one of those representing the Milwaukee Brewers. And Jeff Cirillo joins us on the air for the rest of the weekend. Bill Schroeder is away on vacation. And welcome, Jeff Cirillo. It's great to have you in the booth. Looking forward to the next few days.
I've been watching a lot of games, PA. Glad to be here. Tough shoes to fill and rock, but he deserved a well-deserved vacation, I think, for the guy.
The shoes don't light my shoes on fire, which is what he's known for. So I'm a little anxious about it. I'm already wearing the green shirt. All right, now you watching this ball club from the outside looking in, you've seen this organization go from the bad days to the good days. What has impressed you about this 2011 club?
Well, I will say this, that a lot of it's homegrown talent. You know, you have all-stars in Gallardo and Hart, and now you have guys that were actually voted into the all-star team in Ricky Weeks, Prince Fielder, and then a top vote getter in Ryan Braun. So you got guys from a homegrown, and then you get a guy like Zach Greinke that you bring in for Season and Markham. So it looks like a team that's just well-oiled for the second half. Ricky Weeks starting the second base. Look at him using the middle of the field. He didn't do that when I played with him. A lot of hits to the middle of the field, and he's showing that now. Ryan Braun, 35-inch bat, covers a lot of ground, covers a lot of distance at the plate, does everything well, runs, hits for power. I miss seeing him. And then, of course, you have the big guy in the middle of the lineup, Prince Fielder, having a monstrous season. I read something today about Albert Pujols, how he's feeling the pressure of the contract while Prince Fielder's kind of sitting back and just collecting and just carrying this team, really, and not really having a lot of protection in that 5-hole.
Well, Fielder off to a great start. Ryan Braun still out of the lineup. He's going to miss his 6th start. But the Brewers do have Zach Greinke on the mound. And when Jeff and I return, we will break down Greinke at his start here tonight. Stay with us. Is presented by Menards. Save big money on all your home improvement needs at Menards. By Triple Hops Brewed Miller Lite. Taste greatness. By AT&T. And brought to you by Toyota, proud sponsor of the Milwaukee Brewers and the Toyota territory at Miller Park. Just a great night for baseball here in the Midwest. Friday night. Brewers and the Reds. The Brewers have gotten big 3-run home runs the last 2 games. Last night, it was Ricky Weeks, number 16 of the year. He is tied with Danny Espinosa, the most homers by a second baseman in all of Major League Baseball. And Zach Greinke is on the mound. The Brewers sitting atop the National League Central with the St. Louis Cardinals. The Redbirds lost last night to the Arizona Diamondbacks, combined with that Brewers win. And it is a first-place tie once again. Brian Anderson back with Jeff Cirillo. And Jeff, let's talk a little bit about Zach Greinke. He's coming off two very rough starts, and certainly the Brewers are awaiting that ace-like performance. They could certainly use one tonight from Greinke.
Well, it is in there, right? He is a Cy Young Award winner. His stats are kind of deceiving because he's got a great strikeout-to-walk ratio of 12 strikeouts per 9 innings. You know, great whip. So you think there'd be some sort of a market adjustment with this guy, maybe second time around through the lineup, third time around. He will get comfortable. Granted, the guy had an injury to begin the year. Getting an injury like that, it's a little bit embarrassing. You feel like you got to carry the load right away. He might put a little pressure on himself. Zach Greinke, still a Cy Young Award winner. You can't take it away.
Well, we'll see if Greinke can give him that signature performance tonight. A Central Division showdown. The Brewers and the Reds. Game 2 coming up next. Actually is Friday. They're supposed to wear them, but they've had good success in the throwbacks. Set for game 2, Brian Anderson, Jeff Cirillo, Telly Hughes. And we are ready for baseball. Dusty Baker's Cincinnati Reds batting order. It's brought to you by Piggly Wiggly, Drew Stubbs, Edgar Renteria, and Joey Votto at the top. Brandon Phillips, Jay Bruce, and Scott Rowland in the middle of the order with Chris Heisey, Ryan Hannigan, and Mike Leake rounding it out. And on the mound, Zach Greinke.
Yeah, Zach Greinke coming in his 13th start of the season with 68 innings. Got that strikeout ratio way above 1. Walks well down there. Batting average 250. Very above average, but the ERA is definitely a little high.
Well, Greinke trying to bounce back after a rough start against the Minnesota Twins, a game that the Brewers led 6-1 and let get away. Greinke's final start before the All-Star break as Stubbs leads off, and it's quickly 2 balls and no strikes. You see his start on Sunday against the Twins. Greinke giving up 5 runs, 4 earned in 6 innings. And there's a base hit. Drew Stubbs starts it with a single left. And a base stealer is on for Cincinnati. Defensively for Milwaukee, Marcotte, another start in left field. Nyjer Morgan and Corey Hart join him. Matt Gamble over at third base. Betancourt and Weeks up middle with Fielder at first. And Lucroy does the catching tonight. Plains Farm and Fleet Brewers defense. And there is Matt Gamble getting another start at third base.
Yeah, Matt Gamble making his second start. Starting for Greinke last Sunday. Didn't get any balls hit to him. Kind of Greinke pitching fastballs away to most right-handed hitters.
Stubbs takes off. A swing and a miss. Throw to second in time. And Lucroy continues to throw the baseball exceptionally well. Remember, he caught Stubbs last night in a key moment in the ballgame late.
Exactly. The throw right there, a fastball up and away. Ricky Weeks applying the tag. Looked like a phantom tag, actually, if you go back and look at that. But the ball beat him in the vicinity. You're out.
Jonathan Lucroy cutting down the speedy Drew Stubbs, who is among league leaders in stolen bases. Well, his game just evolving in front of our eyes. Lucroy blocking the baseball, now throwing the baseball well. And you certainly know about his offense. He's swung a big bat for Milwaukee this season.
I like his swing down there. BP takes a very professional attitude with his swings, and I mean just a really short swing, not trying to do too much.
1-2 on Renteria. Down he goes. Lucroy will secure it at first. And 2 men are out. First strikeout for Zach Greinke.
Look at this pitch right here. A hard breaking curveball in the dirt on Renteria. That's where you want to put that 1-2 curveball. Good location. Nice block by Lucroy.
You're already seeing the evolution of a young catcher here in this inning alone. He caught stealing, blocking that pitch in the dirt. Now 2 gone. Here is Votto, and he rips one into the gap in left center. That is way back and gone. Joey Votto jumping on the first pitch he sees from Greinke. His 13th home run of the year, and the Reds have the early lead tonight. Votto not messing around with Greinke. Got one he could handle right away, and he deposits an opposite field home run into the Brewer bullpen.
Looks like he really sees Greinke well. Now he's 4 for 7 lifetime off Greinke with 3 homers. The thing about a guy like Greinke, who throws a lot of strikes early in the count, you can kind of look out over the plate for that first pitch. And when you have power like Votto does, you have the ability to hit the ball out of the ballpark away.
Votto has not been hitting for much power lately. His 13th home run off Greinke, now 53 runs batted in. He's having a good year, but not the kind of MVP season he was posting last year. And I think he and Zach Greinke have a lot in common, as you mentioned in our open. When you have those expectations, whether they are MVP expectations or Cy Young expectations, sometimes it's tough to live up to that.
When you raise the bar, you don't want to raise it too high. That's why I was fun.
And that's why he's sitting here with me tonight.
Lowered expectations.
Well, a 2-out home run by Votto. Here's Brandon Phillips. A little jam shot foul. Well, Jeff, big part of the schedule here. The Brewers trying to get things going as of late. They really struggled on the road trip. Just 1 win in the 6-game trip through New York and Minnesota. Dropped 2 out of 3 to the Arizona Diamondbacks. And now 3 games remaining before the All-Star break. The Brewers left on that last road trip with a 3-game lead in the division. Cardinals got hot. The Brewers got cold. But there they are, back in a first-place tie at this point. A lot of baseball to be played.
162 games, BA, and everyone has to go through some tough of teeth of their schedule, and the Brewers right now are in that situation.
That is down the line. That's a fair ball. Phillips on his way to second. Dug out of there by Hart, and he's in there with a double. But Brandon Phillips shooting one to right. 3rd hit of the inning given up by Greinke.
Right there, you look at that fastball. He missed his spot, trying to come in on a 2-strike pitch, left out of the plate. Brandon Phillips definitely evolved as an all-star type hitter. taking what the pitcher has, using the ball, hitting the ball away, fastball away, hitting a mistake.
Phillips an all-star again this year, back-to-back years placed on the all-star team. Runner at second for Jay Bruce. The Reds with 3 hits, a big caught stealing, cutting down Stubbs. Otherwise the Reds in serious business here in the first. Bruce with 19 home runs, 54 driven in this season. He's headed to the all-star game. The Brewers will match up against this Reds club that feature 3 all-stars in the middle of their order with Votto, Phillips, and Bruce. And there's a base hit to right. Phillips around third, and he's on his way. He'll score. And it's 2-0 Cincinnati as the Reds are aggressively after Zach Greinke. And already 4 hits and 2 runs on the board.
Looked like a little 2-seam fastball up over the middle of the plate. Wanted to be down and away. Got a little bit too much play. Hit off the end of the bat. Just rolled it in there in between the 4-3 hole.
A 2-out double by Phillips allows him to score easily on that ground ball. Phillips with great speed. Now, not the kind of start Ron Renicky was looking for from Zach Greinke tonight. Well, he has been less than spectacular. But you still feel like it's in there. Jeff, you look at his stuff. You talked about his numbers, the incredible strikeout to walk numbers. And his fastball is in the mid-90s. He has a terrific breaking ball. I don't think it's a question about stuff at this point.
It's just that one pitch in each at bat. And it seems like the Major League Baseball, these hitters aren't missing it.
Scott Rowland back in the starting lineup tonight for Cincinnati.
I mean, that's where he's got a pitch right there at the knees. He's got to get that pitch from the umpire. If he stays down there consistently with that pitch, though, he'll eventually get it.
Strikeout to walk ratio over 6. As Rowland lifts one in the air left field, that is hooking. Kotze gives it a look, and it's foul. Ball and 2 strikes on Scott Rowland. And a happy fan up there. A hard-earned foul ball. Now the Reds and the Cardinals played a 13-inning game on Wednesday night. Scott Rowland started that game, was in that game. And because of the late night arrival, Dusty Baker giving him the day off yesterday. Miguel Cairo started at third yesterday for Cincinnati. That was a game, Jeff, that might have a little forward distraction for the Reds. They used every reliever in their bullpen in that 13-inning game. They blew an 8-0 lead in that game Wednesday night. The Brewers winning last night to open this series, a thriller, a 5-4 victory. And now we'll start to see second day in after the late night and the rest of this series.
You hit right on it, B.A. That second day is when you normally feel the lag from the game before. But, I mean, they should be pretty fresh with Chapman and Cordero down in the bullpen late in the game.
There's a swing and a miss. Rowland down on strikes. The inning is over, but the Reds scored twice on 4 hits. Trailing early tonight. The Reds get 2 runs in the first inning. Now Milwaukee coming up for the first time. And here is Renick's Piggly Wiggly batting order tonight. Weeks, Morgan, and Hart at the top of the order. Fielder, Gamble, and Kotze in the middle. Matt Gamble gets the turn in the 5-hole. And then it's Betancourt, Lucroy, and Greinke rounding it out. Ryan Braun still out of the lineup. Upper calf strain. He's missing his 6th start. Very good pitcher on the mound in his 2nd season in the big leagues, Mike Leake.
Listen to Dale talk about Mike Leake. He has excellent command of a cutter to both sides of the plate, can front door it, can back door it to right. He's got a good little sinker. He's got a little 3/4 delivery. He's really tough on right-handed hitters. And if he's getting that cutter in on the left, he can be tough.
Leake with 8 wins already this year. And he'll face Ricky Weeks to start it. Weeks is having a great run against Cincinnati this season. Overall, Ricky hitting .275 with 16 home runs, 37 driven in. He had a couple of hits last night, which bumped his batting average up over 400 against the Reds this year. Hitting .410 against Cincinnati with 5 home runs. 2 of those home runs have led off games, including the first home run of the year on opening day when he led off the season with a homer. Home plate umpire Chris Conroy. Rob Drake, Gary Darling, and Bruce Stroud on the bases. Gary Darling is the crew chief. If we are in need of a replay, it'll be Gary Darling's call to go to the review booth. Now, Weeks hit a big home run last night. The Brewers on the strength of 2 3-run home runs in the last 2 games. And back-to-back wins for Milwaukee. Weeks' home run last night came in the 5th inning. And it gave the Brewers the lead, a lead they would not relinquish. Chris Narveson picked up the win. And nothing but bat speed on this home run last night.
There's not too many major leaguers who do something like that, just with the wrists and the arms, the hand strength that he's got. Like I said earlier, he was in the middle of the field. I mean, everything's already predetermined. You just got to square the ball up to the middle of the field, and good things will happen for Ricky Weeks.
So far, he has had 2 healthy seasons, and you saw Ricky right at the beginning of his career. That was the big question. Everybody knew the talent was there. Was he pushed to the big leagues a little too early? That was the concern. And then the injury bug started to bite. I think the Brewers just now starting to see the fruits of their labor developing Ricky Weeks. Boy, is he delivering. There's a hot one over to third, rolling as good as it gets. Makes a play for out number 1. Check the Reds defensively behind Mike Leake. Got Chris Heisey starting in left tonight. Drew Stubbs and Jay Bruce in the outfield as well. Scott Rowland, Edgar Renteria, Brandon Phillips, and Joey Votto. It's a very good infield. Ryan Hannigan does the catching. Rowland, one of the best. 8 Gold Gloves in his career. And Renteria, some wise old veterans on the left side of the infield tonight for Cincinnati.
Yeah, some great glove guys instinctively. And you got a guy like Leake who works fast. Always love that as an infielder when a guy works fast, throws a lot of strikes.
Well, you figure Leake is the kind of guy where the infield defense is at a premium. As Morgan goes into the gap, left center, that is going to be run down by Heisey. The Reds are much tighter defensively with Heisey in left as opposed to Johnny Gomes, and it shows up early.
I saw Leake pitch a few years ago when I was scouting for the Diamondbacks when he was at Arizona State, and really impressed with his moxie and the way he goes after things. I mean, very crafty, good athlete, not afraid to come in on left-handers.
Facing Corey Hardwick 2 away. Mike Leake straight from Arizona State to the major leagues with a stop in the Arizona Fall League in between, but did not pitch a single game in the minor leagues before he appeared in the major leagues. As a matter of fact, he's only made 2 appearances in the minor leagues in his professional career. Works fast, throws strikes, and has quite an arsenal to work with. He's not overpowering by any stretch, but a guy that can throw strikes with just about everything he has. Still only 23 years of age.
I mean, any high school pitcher, you look at this guy, I mean, he's not a 6'3", 6'4" guy. I mean, he throws a fastball, slider, cutter, curveball, all for strikes. And for big league hitters, it's hard to eliminate pitches when a guy throws strikes like that.
Well, Greinke giving up a couple of runs in the first. The Brewers playing from behind tonight. Full count to Corey Hart. And a bouncing ball to Renteria. And a high throw. Hart is in there. Great slide by Hart, getting around the tag of Votto on a routine ground ball to short. The Reds allow Prince Fielder to bat in this first inning.
You know what that throw is like right there, DA? That's like when you decel on your backswing in golf. That's what he did. He did everything. He moved his feet, and right at the last point, he tried to just lob the ball over there at first base. Corey Hart, a great, excellent base runner, gets that 6'6" body down on the ground to get Prince Fielder a chance right here.
Well, if he runs through it, he's going to be an easy tag for Votto. Heads up move by Hart. Now Fielder with an at bat in the first. And right back up the middle, right there is Renteria, and he'll wind up and throw to first. Crazy inning for the Reds defensively, but Leake gets out of it. No runs. 2-0 Cincinnati. Now the Reds jumping on Greinke early tonight. 2 runs on 4 hits in the first inning. Mike Leake scoreless first. Here we go to the second at beautiful Miller Park, and a big crowd on hand to see this one. Just a great night for baseball here. Expecting sellouts for the weekend for the final 2 games of this series. We're going to be close to a sellout here tonight.
Yeah, it doesn't get any better than Midwest weather in the summertime. This is just a beautiful night to play baseball. Love playing baseball on nights like this.
Seems like the players are energized by the Midwest weather.
Well, you got the sunshine out there, but yet you have this shade over the stadium with the roof that just cools everything off.
How about a 65-mile-an-hour curveball from Zach Greinke?
That's a little change of speed, wouldn't it? Only a 30-mile-an-hour difference.
I was talking to the Tampa Bay Rays analyst, Brian Anderson, former Kansas City Royal. He was teammates with Zach Greinke, and just to give you an idea of the athleticism of Greinke and the kind of feel he has, he said during a game once as a Royal that he wanted to throw his curveball in the 50s. And he did. He had never even tried it before, but he threw one in the 50s. He backed it up with a 96-mile-an-hour fastball.
Sometimes when you got that kind of ability, you like to play little games out there.
Just to see if you can do it.
Exactly.
His speed range tonight is just 31 miles per hour, not 41 miles per hour. But that is significant. You don't see that kind of variance between the slowest of slow and the fastest of fast. Just seems like Greinke's still trying to put it all together. You know, he has not been able to do that in a Brewers uniform.
It looks like, I mean, he makes 2 great pitches to lead off this at bat, and then he's kind of gone with the 3 breaking pitches in the dirt trying to get the guy to swing. It's almost like looking for non-contact situations.
And there's a called strike on the outside corner. 95 on the black. That's the kind of pitch that'll win you a Cy Young award.
That's exactly right. I mean, look at this pitch right here. Fastball outside on the black. Borderline strike, but sometimes Cy Young winners get those.
Heisey down on strikes, down looking. 3rd strikeout for Zach Greinke. And Lucroy kept it right there for home plate umpire Chris Conroy.
That's one of those pitches as a hitter, you're holding your breath, and as a pitcher, you're holding your breath.
Everybody's waiting for the call.
You look at these red hitters, they're coming after that first pitch fastball away every time. The guy got 15 walks for the whole season. You know he's going to go fastball away for most counts.
Narvison's approach yesterday was to be very aggressive early in the count, especially on the inside corner with his fastball, and it certainly paid off. Got a nice start yesterday. Narvison came up big. The Brewers needed a good jump off against the Reds. He went 6 innings, just 2 earned runs allowed yesterday, and here is your 5th starter with 6 wins already.
He was impressive, especially in that 6th inning when he had 1st and 2nd no outs. Came out there, first pitch changeup, double play, got out of the ball game. Has a great changeup, and you're exactly right. When you throw fastball strike inside for lefty, it makes that changeup so much better. Now as a hitter, you know, it's one of those things. If a guy can't throw his fastball inside from a left-hander for a strike, you know, you just kind of just dismiss it. So he doesn't want to come in there and just kind of attack that outer half.
Hannigan takes a ball. Take a look at some of the highlights from Chris Narvison last night. Brewers were in their retro unis again, and you see the variance of pitches for Narvison.
When he got the pitch down, I mean, he got strikeouts and double plays and change of speeds. When he got the ball up, he gave up some hits, but I mean, you can tell the stuff is definitely there. That changeup is a plus pitch in the major leagues.
And Narvison improving to 6-5 for the year. It got a little rocky down the stretch for Ron Roenicke. The Brewers bullpen made it tight. The Reds got a run in the 8th and then a run in the 9th, a home run by Hernandez off Axford. But Axford finished it off. He picked up his 23rd save of the year. And the Brewers beating the Reds for just the 3rd time this year. Cincinnati now 7-3 against Milwaukee this season.
Again, you see Greinke in a 3-2 count. Again, 2nd hitter in a row this inning. Pitch count gets eaten up pretty quick when you do that.
Hannigan on the ground, 2 weeks. And 2 up and 2 down in the 2nd inning. Well, Sundays are now Blue Bunny ice cream Sundays on each Sunday home game. The first 2,000 kids ages 12 and under entering Miller Park will receive a free Blue Bunny ice cream. Compliments of Blue Bunny. Greinke with 3 strikeouts has the first 2 out here in the 2nd inning. They're giving out Ryan Braun towels before the game tonight. Unfortunately, Ryan Braun still out of the starting lineup. Got an upper calf strain, lower hamstring upper calf. Missing his 6th consecutive start, hoping to return tomorrow. Ron Roenicke saying that Braun is available to pinch hit, but he'd like not to have to call on Braun here tonight. You ever had a calf strain in your playing career?
I have not, but I'm not as fast as Ryan Braun was. But talking to him earlier down there on the field, and I mean, he definitely wants to play and wants to help the team win the game. And I think this is his #1 priority is this team, and not so much the All-Star team.
Now Braun, an All-Star starter, one of the 3 Brewers that will start the All-Star game along with Weeks and Fielder.
Which is really impressive in itself that the Brewers can get 3 starters on the All-Star team, and not just starters. I mean, voted in. I remember when I was playing here. I mean, you wouldn't even show up on the ballot. I mean, you'd be 12th on the list, and you'd be like, well, you know, it's early. It was cold in the April and May at County Stadium, I guess.
Called strike 3. Greinke rings up Mike Leake. 4 strikeouts early for Zach Greinke. Has a 3-up, 3-down second. We head to the bottom of the second. The Brewers coming up. Milwaukee coming up. We talked about the all-star players for Milwaukee. They unveiled the all-star jerseys, and this was earlier today. Doug Melvin, the general manager, down there with Brewers manager Ron Renneke, and that's what they're going to look like. So Braun, Weeks, and Fielder receiving their all-star jerseys. And our Powerball home run leaderboard, you see the all-stars leading this club in home runs. Weeks tied Braun with a homer yesterday. Fielder still leading the club with 22. Matt Gamble leads off against Mike Leake. And Leake starts him with a strike. Gamble back in there, starting at third base. His last start at third base was last week against the Twins last Sunday. What kind of adjustment do you think that was for Gamble? He's been playing first base all year. They throw him back at third base last week in the big leagues.
You know, I got a chance to meet this kid down in Tacoma this year when Nashville came through and threw him some batting practice. He was getting used to first base. And he's like, you know, I like first base. I don't have to worry about the throws. Got to knock it down, step on the bag. The one thing I really liked about him was his hands. He had really good hands, hand speed, good bat control. Looked like he was still adjusting to first base, but you know, as I told him there, I'm like, hey, you never know. The more gloves you carry, the more opportunities you're going to get.
Yeah, we've seen Gamble at first base, third base, and in left field in his 2 weeks in the big leagues. And down he goes on strikes. Mike Leake surprises him with a high fastball. One away here in the second inning. Now, Fox Sports Wisconsin Outdoors showcases the ultimate in outdoor programming. Every Saturday and Sunday morning, experience everything from the pursuit of fish and game to exploring the best weekend destinations. Fox Sports Wisconsin Outdoors, presented by Menards, Saturdays 6 a.m., Sundays 8 a.m., only on Fox Sports Wisconsin.
Leake definitely not afraid to come inside on the left-handers. 2 strikes with that little cutter and sink.
Kotze into center field. Back is Stubbs, and he's got it for the out. High towering fly ball. And an easy play for Stubbs at the end.
Is it 425 in that corner out there? I've never really known. It's 400 dead center. Now, what about that little coffin corner there in left center, right center?
Well, it's I don't think it's 425, but technically, I guess it would be 400 if you lasered it. But this was the design that Robin Yount had in mind. Robin Yount was a big part of the design of the dimensions here at Miller Park, and what he envisioned with that straight wall in center field, that little corner in the gaps, is the triple. And the idea that this could be a triples ballpark if you go down the lines and if you go into that gap where that angled wall is. That's what was so impressive about Weeks' home run yesterday. He hit one into left center right at that angle, which is the deepest part of the ballpark, and you're thinking that ball is going to hit the wall and come back. As Betancourt pulls one foul, and it's off the tarp.
You know what I think you're eventually going to see in baseball is eventually on those walls in the back there, if you look in center field right here, is you're going to see it light up. If the ball hits off there, you're going to make it's going to make like a big red mark, and then you'll know.
Like pinball.
Then you won't even need replay.
Yeah,
it'll just be like red.
That would be a play-by-play announcer's dream.
Because yesterday when we were up here, I was like, that can't be a home run, and then all of a sudden, you know, it hits off the rail, and you just don't see many major leaguers have the ability to do something like that. You know, hit basically a 1 iron, a 2 iron.
That's what Ron Rickey was saying, that most line drives in that trajectory are going to drop and hit the wall.
Right.
But that one hit the back wall, and it hit with such force it almost bounced back to the infield. As Betancourt lifts one to right, and there is Jay Bruce. And Mike Leake rolling along here early. 2-0 Reds. We go to the third. Fox Sports Wisconsin is presented by Piggly Wiggly, the official supermarket of Fox Sports Wisconsin. By Ho Chunk Gaming Wisconsin, your ticket to more. And by Subway. Try our $5 featured footlong of the month. Subway, where winners eat. Back at Miller Park on a Friday night, the Brewers and the Reds matching up for the second time in this series. And the 11th time already this year. Zach Greinke giving up 2 runs on 4 hits in the first inning. The Reds coming out swinging early in the counts. And here is Drew Stubbs to start the third, top of the order for Cincinnati. Drew Stubbs back in that leadoff spot for the Reds. Dusty Baker has stuck with this young prospect who was in the big leagues last year, got himself established not only as a speed guy at the top of the order, but a power guy as well at the top of the batting order.
Second-year adjustment he's got to make, though. Strikes out a lot.
There's a base hit to left, just over the head of the Brewers shortstop. So Stubbs with 2 hits already. 2 for 2 against Greinke, and the Reds have a base runner to start the inning.
Looked like a little curveball up, out over the plate. Just reached out and poked it. Got enough of it to get over Betancourt's head. Just none.
Stubbs was thrown out trying to steal second in the first inning. Second time Lucroy has thrown him out. He got him last night in the 9th inning. Renteria drilled by a pitch. Greinke comes high and tight, and Renteria will reach. So 2 on to start the inning. That can't feel good.
Nope. Nowhere to run on that one. Fastball boring in like there. Listen to this sound.
Oh, flesh.
Yes. You'd almost rather hear the knock than the flesh. You'd rather hear the hard sound than the.
There's Greinke in trouble. Now he's facing Joey Votto. Joey Votto this year has been the best in the National League with runners in scoring position. Hitting .413 with a runner at second base. 2 on, nobody out. Votto homered his last time up. And a breaking ball from Greinke in there for a strike. Opposite field home run on the first pitch, Jeff.
Yep, fastball away. See, that's the difference between a good hitter and a great hitter. Is a good hitter can line that in the gap for a double. Great ones straight out of the ballpark. He definitely sees Greinke well.
Now Votto with 3 home runs against Zach Greinke and 7 at-bats so far. He's had 4 hits against him lifetime, and 3 of them home runs.
As a player too, you like these situations. It's like one of those things that you can have a really big game. You come out with a home run in your first at bat, and then you're in a situation to drive in a lot more off a guy you feel pretty good about.
Greinke could use one on the ground here. The Brewers set up to turn a double play. And Greinke misses high and away. 3 balls and a strike. See Votto on the road hitting a .347. His overall batting average is .319. Now 13 home runs.
Dangerous pitch right here. 3-1.
And that one hits the bottom of the zone for a strike. Votto disagrees. That's a big pitch for Zach Greinke. Those are the runners in scoring position numbers. Brian Braun on that list, but Votto at the top. At his best in a run producer's role. They got a play. The throw to second. Stubbs just back. Inside move from Greinke almost got Drew Stubbs.
Interesting base running situation there. It looked like he was running on the pitch. First and second, nobody out. Lefty hitting. It's a gutsy call.
And he just got back. Good call by Gary Darling. Runners go. Votto takes ball 4. Bases loaded. Nobody out to start the 3rd inning. A single to start it, a hit batter, and now a walk. And the pitch count rises for Greinke. Sitting at 48 pitches already with nobody out in the 3rd inning.
Got to work some magic here. But if you talk about Joey Votto hitting .420 with runners in scoring position, I mean, you got to have protection, and having a guy like Brandon Phillips up next helps. I mean, that's why what Prince Fielder's done is so great this season. I mean, really, the 5-hole has been kind of a bugaboo for the Brewers. And I mean, what Prince has done this year is amazing in that 4-hole.
Phillips, unlike Weeks, in more of a run producer's role. He is usually behind Votto. Sometimes Bruce hits behind Votto, but Phillips bats with a lot of runners on base as Greinke finds a corner for a strike.
Tight little slider right there.
Greinke certainly has the stuff to get out of an inning like this. He has that strikeout stuff, but he's got a long way to go to get through this 3rd inning.
Looks like he's having trouble getting to that 2-strike count.
Phillips doubled his last time up, and that one missed inside, and Phillips able to check his swing.
And if you look at the action right here, it's a 93-mile-an-hour sinker on his hands. And it looks like he held up.
Looks like the Brewers will concede the run to turn 2 up the middle. Matter of fact, all the way around. Everybody playing back. And the 2-1. We went through that time. 2-2 the count. Wicked slider from Greinke.
86-mile-an-hour hard slider right there. Nice pitch. And location. Look at this location down and away on LaCroix. Didn't want to. Strike 2.
Well, it's early, but this is the kind of at-bat that could change the game. Bases loaded, nobody out. The 2-2 on the way. And a swing and a miss. Phillips got a piece of that ball, but foul tipped it into the middle. LaCroix. And it's strikeout number 5 for Zach Greinke, and a big strike.
Actually got away with that one. Hanging slider, but you got to respect the fastball in on the one ball pitch. When he threw the fastball on the inside, you don't know what he's going to throw. He's got that kind of stuff.
Well, now a ground ball double play can get him out of this inning. Jay Bruce, the batter.
Doesn't get any easier though, does it? It's tough to be a big league pitcher,
especially against this lineup. Cincinnati, a powerful lineup, tough to get through. Bruce, one of the streakiest hitters in all of baseball, and he had a huge month of May. He goes through on that one, according to Bruce Streckman. It's 1-1.
Interesting to see Greinke pitching out of the windup here. You normally don't see that when there's one out in the inning. Must feel more comfortable pitching out of the windup.
This is the big at bat here. He strikes out Phillips. He's got Bruce up there with 1 away, bases loaded, and it's down in the dirt. LaCroix picks it clean. 2 balls, 1 strike on Bruce. Check out his month of May. Did most of his damage in the month of May. A .342 average. 12 of his 19 home runs came in 1 month. And the Brewers saw that up close and personal. He has been a struggling hitter leading up to this series.
Looks like Greinke on Bruce right here is making a conscious effort to go down and away with that sinker at 87. Try and get him to roll over to Prince or hit the ball back to him.
Bruce, another guy that strikes out a lot. Greinke from the windup this time. The 2-2 pitch. He lays off. Tried to get him to bite. Bruce would not. Now the count is full, 3-2. Interesting that he changed to the windup late in the at bat against Bruce.
But again, you see these Reds hitters taking them deep into counts. And here's another 3-2 count. We got LaCroix setting up away right here. See what happens.
Full count. Here it comes. And Bruce fouls it away. Went with a fastball. Bruce singled and drove in a run his last time up. Pulled one between first and second for an RBI single.
It's tough to call a breaking ball in this count because it just hasn't been consistent enough throwing for strikes, especially against lefties.
Nowhere to put him. Pitch number 60 of the night already for Greinke. 3-2 and a swing and a foul tip. He just got a piece. Went with a breaking ball, and Bruce able to stay in there when many guys will swing and miss.
Hard sinker right here, hard breaking ball. Got that pull swing. Just able to get the top half of that ball.
Greinke having to make some grind him out pitches early in this game. All-star outfielder Jay Bruce. 3-2. Swing and a miss. Greinke strikes him out. Back-to-back Ks for Zach Greinke. And he is one step away from getting out of this mess.
The bottom drop out of this curveball. 3-2 pitch. That was a great battle. Two all-star caliber type players going at it.
He made a great pitch, didn't he?
Yeah.
And Bruce is gone. 6 strikeouts for Greinke. And here's Scott Rowland. Rowland, a strikeout victim in the first inning. Well, it could be a game-changing inning.
Absolutely.
There's a lot of momentum riding on an inning like this. If Greinke gets out of this bases loaded jam, this crowd will go crazy. But the pitch count is certainly a concern as you look ahead. This is going to be a night where Greinke is going to have a tough time getting into the 5th, 6th inning. Already it's 62 pitches. On the ground, and that is into left field. 1 run is in. Here comes Phillips. Or rather, Renteria. He'll score. 2 runs in on a base hit from Scott Rowland. 2 out, 2 RBI single for Rowland, and it's 4-0 Reds.
Looks like a curveball out over the plate. Scott Rowland dropping the head on that one. Gamble just looked like just jumped up over his glove. One of those situations where he hasn't been out there in a while. Doesn't really know the field. That's a tough first ball to get at third base in that situation.
That's a big play. Certainly a playable ground ball. It goes as a hit for Rowland. First and second with 2 gone. And Heisey, 7th batter of the inning. Heisey struck out looking in the second. Goes to a ball and 2 strikes. Heisey has been used occasionally in the leadoff spot for Dusty Baker. He's had a lot of success when he's got his playing time. He's been one of Dusty's best pinch hitters this year.
Got some great power numbers for 160 at bats, 10 homers. That's some damage.
31 driven in as well. 1-2 pitch and a little bouncer foul. Pitch count continues to rise for Greinke. Looked like he had a way out of his inning. He got a ground ball. Gamble unable to come up with the hard hit ground ball from Rowland. Now Greinke trying to limit the damage. 4-0 Cincinnati. Reds already with 6 hits.
Just some strange numbers, BA. I mean, 6 strikeouts and 6 hits.
Kind of symbolic of the rest of his season.
That's exactly right. I mean, when he's good, he's real good. But I mean, still in the same pitches. Just when they're making contact, they're making solid contact.
Yeah, 6 strikeouts, 1 walk. He's hit a batter. And the 1-2 offering and a swing and a miss. Lucroy will have to secure it at first. And the side retired. 7 strikeouts for Greinke. But 2 more runs come in. When we come back, we'll visit with Rick Kranitz. We'll get his thoughts from the dugout. The Brewers down 4-0. pitching coach. You're watching Zach Greinke. Just give us your thoughts so far, the first couple of innings you've seen from him.
Well, he's got himself in trouble by making some bad pitches in the strike zone. Made some mistakes, and but then again, we look up and he's got 6 or 7 strikeouts anyway. So I thought he did a heck of a job last inning. That's a tough one, being bases loaded, nobody out, and just about wiggling out of it. With the 2 strikeouts. So he's going to keep battling. Sometimes you have games like this.
You're a master of psychology. How do you advance forward with him? How much discussion goes on between now and his next inning?
Well, you know what? We just I'm going to watch him get a base hit coming up, and then we'll talk and just say, look, you just got to stay in the game and keep us right there. A lot of things can happen here. Just keep putting up zeros. Just keep doing it and make one pitch at a time and just focus on what you're doing.
Rick, thanks for spending a little time with us.
Right.
We appreciate it. That is Rick Kranitz, Brewers pitching coach, and certainly an opportunity that he probably wanted to let pass by. The Brewers pitching coach frustrated about what he has seen so far, and we appreciate him giving us his insights and how to move forward. And if there's a guy who is always thinking about what's next as opposed to what's behind, it's Rick Kranitz. And I like how he said, I'm going to watch Zach Greinke get a base hit here, and then I'll talk to him.
Exactly. I want to take a little batting practice. It looks like he can swing the bat a little bit.
Greinke does have a home run. 4 for 18 as he pulls one over to Renteria, and there is out number 2. And that leads us to our Carsoup.com email the booth question. Sherry in Janesville wants to know, how do you think Ricky Weeks will fare in next week's home run derby? Jeff, how do you think he'll do?
I think that Ricky Weeks, if he gets into a groove, can put on a frigging light show there. So, especially if the roof is open in Arizona there. I mean, the ball flies, it's hot. I'd say bring a glove. If I was in the outfield out there, bring a glove.
Now, is Ricky Weeks honing his home run derby swing, or does he do that all the time during batting practice? I know they have a little, one for me round.
It's amazing, though. When I was with those guys early in their career, Prince, Ricky, JJ, and Corey, and I was in the hitting group with them, and they're like, work with the young guys. I really felt like I was Steve Fisher.
Well, Weeks goes deep into center field. That is way back, and that is off the wall. And Ricky's got a chance to score on his way to third. Here he comes. The throw cut off. An inside the park home run. He can do that too. And the Brewers are on the board. Number 17 for Weeks, the first that has stayed inside the park.
Fastball out over the plate. Ricky Weeks hitting in that Bermuda Triangle we were talking about early. When you have speed like Ricky, Robin Yount said it was going to be triples for most. It's an inside the park for Ricky Weeks, even though he really wasn't running real hard around first base. He's pacing himself.
It is the third inside the park home run of the season for Milwaukee, a rarity in itself. But we were just talking about the angled walls out there and how Robin Yount wanted to establish some part of the ballpark that could be a triples haven. And when you got a guy like Weeks and his kind of speed, it becomes an inside the park opportunity. Gomez, Betancourt, and Weeks all with inside the park home runs this year. And the Brewers are on the board. 4-1 is our score. Now, Jeff, when you punched me in the arm when that ball hit the wall, were you excited about the prospects, or were you just making sure I was paying attention?
No, I knew the angle and who was running. I said, this is going to be an inside the park home run.
As Morgan strikes out, that gets by Hannigan. And the throw is late, and the inning continues. Right between the legs of Ryan Hannigan as Morgan strikes out. We take you back August 7th last year. Ricky Weeks with an inside the park home run to the other side of that angled wall. And yes, look how fast he ran around the bases.
A little closer on that one.
And tonight he goes into right center. I think Ricky thought it was out of the ballpark from the time it left the bat. Still enough speed to get around though.
I'd need some serious oxygen. That'd be one of those ones where the pitcher has a long inning. I'd want the next two batters to take pitches for me because your legs feel really mushy at that point.
So Corey Hart with Morgan at first. Leak looked like he was out of the inning. Struck out Nigel Morgan, but a wild pitch.
You might have to tell Ricky that one wouldn't count in Arizona at the home run derby, though.
That's right. It doesn't count.
No,
you got to go out over
Yep.
the wall.
Yep.
But it counts here. And Weeks now second on the club. He is past Ryan Braun. 17 homers now. He has 6 home runs, does Ricky Weeks, against the Reds this season. 6 of his 17 home runs against Cincinnati. Morgan a threat to run. Leak has a very good move and is quick to the plate. Not an easy guy to run on.
No, he's a good athlete. Very quick feet.
And as Hart takes a strike.
Leak's one of those guys that you really, when you face him, you have to really slow him down because he'll try and keep that pace going, You got to step out on him and control the pace with him. And I mean, if you let him, he'll control the speed of the game, and you got to slow him down.
No balls, 2 strikes on Hart. Morgan at first. And Hart into center field. A base hit. Morgan will hold his ground at second. Corey Hart coming up big with a base hit. A 2-out single. And again, Fielder will bat with men on.
Good piece of hitting right here. That ball's out over the plate, off the plate, away. Just went out there, used that big frame, those long arms, poke it out there in the middle of the field. Little cutter. About 6 inches off the plate away. Didn't try and do too much with it. Set it up for the guy in the middle, Prince Fielder.
Well, Hart had 2 hits last night. He's done a nice job filling in the 3-hole for Braun. And here is Prince Fielder representing the tying run. Well, what a jolt here. 2 quick outs for Leak. An inside the park home run for Ricky Weeks. He struck out Morgan, but a wild pitch allowed him to first. Now Hart is singled. Mike Leake has given up 9 home runs this season in 17 games, 14 of those starts. Two and nothing on Fielder.
Little subtle things, though, in the game of baseball that people sometimes miss. That 1-2 curveball in the dirt that the catcher, it goes as a wild pitch, but the catcher knows it's going to be in the dirt. It's a ball that's got to be blocked. And now he's thrown 5, 7 more pitches, and he's in a situation where he's got to face Prince Fielder and make pitches.
Fielder on the ground over to Phillips, bobbles, but recovers in time to get the out. And Fielder strands a pair, but Ricky Weeks adds to his total in unconventional fashion. An inside the park home run. There's 4-1 Cincinnati. Jeep game reset. Some of the highlights from the first 3 innings of this matchup with the Cincinnati Reds. They have jumped on Zach Greinke. Got 2 in the first, 2 more in the 3rd inning. The only Brewer run came with 2 outs last inning. Ricky Weeks missed a home run out of the park by just a couple of feet, so he decides to go inside the park and gets his home run after all. Number 17 for Weeks. And here we go to the 4th. Jeep game summary. Well, you heard from Rick Kranitz last inning. He is hoping that Greinke can start to shut down these Reds. He has made the kind of pitches you would think would give him a chance to have some success, but a very high pitch count already. 70 pitches. 7 strikeouts already to go along with just 1 walk, but he's given up 6 hits and 4 runs. Ryan Hannigan leading off this 4th inning. Part of that catching tandem in Cincinnati. He and Ramon Hernandez share the duties. It's a unique situation in Cincinnati. They have 2 very good defensive catchers. Both can hit, both right-handed batters. So Dusty Baker plays them both and tries to keep them as fresh-legged as possible.
It's a nice luxury to have, especially Ramon Hernandez. I mean, he's getting up there in age, so. Still get on a fastball, though, as shown last night on Axford.
Can't get a fastball by Hernandez, especially a John Axford fastball. Ax has given up 2 home runs all year, both to Hernandez.
Not on the outer part of the plate, anyway.
It's amazing. I think it was 96 miles an hour on the outside of the plate, and Hernandez drove it into right center for a home run. That was last night. That made it a 1-run game. Axford would go on to close it out. As Greinke strikes out Hannigan. There is number 8 for Zach Greinke. Well, this is the last home series before the All-Star break, but once the Brewers return from a long trip after the break, they host the border battle with the Chicago Cubs. You'll certainly want to be there for that. For tickets, call 414-902-4000 or visit Brewers.com for more information. His tickets are going fast. Cubs had a big comeback last night against the Nationals. There's 2 8-0 leads have gone by in the last 2 days. As Luke grounds out. We saw the Reds blow an 8-0 lead to the Cardinals, and then yesterday the Cubs come back from 8-0 down.
It's heating up.
No leads are safe anymore. AT&T Trivia prior to 2011 named the last team to hit 100 home runs in 6 straight seasons before the All-Star break. So the last team to hit 100 or more in 6 straight seasons before the All-Star break. Good question. The Brewers have surpassed the century mark.
I could venture to guess that one.
Would you like to make a guess?
That would be unfair. That would be unfair.
If you guess and the answer is correct, then the graphics department is going to be upset about that.
Because they already built it.
But feel free to guess if you like.
Let's just talk about Zach Greinke. He's got some overpowering stuff. He's got a 95 fastball. He can beat you with a lot of pitches. Curveball, fastball. He's got that little 87-mile-an-hour sinker too. Baffling.
You could almost hear that same tone in Rick Kranitz's voice.
Yeah. Like, I don't know.
How?
Exactly.
How are there 4 runs and 6 hits on the board? And there's another base hit. Stubbs goes to the opposite field. His 3rd hit against Greinke. He's 3 for 3 tonight already.
Certainly doesn't look like a guy that struck out over a third of the time. Not tonight, anyway. Sinker down and away. Goes with it. Beats Prince to the non-left side. That's what speed does for you. You know, Prince wants to play in that hole to take that 4-3 hole away from him, but Stubbs runs so well that you got to keep it honest and got to be able to get back to the base on a grounder.
Well, now it's instead of Edgar Renteria, Cincinnati going with Zach Cozart, and I'm wondering if That hit by pitch, Renteria took one on the forearm, has knocked him out of this game. You figure as much. Cozart made his major league debut yesterday. Got his first major league hit. Came in the 4th inning against Chris Narveson. This was the hit batter last inning, right on the left forearm. And Renteria, we've heard no official word yet, but just assuming that's why he's out of the game.
Those tend to take about 20 minutes and then they swell up. You gotta get some ice on them. Get a compression wrap on there quickly.
Little bouncer out to Betancourt. Played the tough hop, but gets the out at second base. The inning is over. So Greinke bounces back with a scoreless 4th.
Trainers took part in the 2011 play campaign at Miller Park. They were joined by Brewers infielder Craig Counsell. Play stands for Promoting a Lifestyle of Activity for Youth, a public awareness campaign developed by the Professional Baseball Athletic Trainers Society. And BA, we had a chance to catch up with the Brewers athletic trainer Roger Kaplinger, and it's very near and dear to his heart.
Yeah, Roger is certainly proud of that, and he was at the forefront of getting the funding for that program that you see all across Major League Baseball. It's great to see the kids out, and tip our hat to Craig Counsell and the rest of the Brewers athletic training staff, including the head athletic trainer Roger Kaplinger. Get them off the video games and out onto the field. That's really where it comes down to, I guess. Gamble fouls it away. Roger's been involved in a number of projects regarding nutrition and performance on the field, and of course the tie-in with performance enhancing drugs as well. He's a great resource. I know he's put you back together on a number of occasions.
Roger Kaplinger and I have a long relationship. In 1991 is when our relationship started.
Is that right?
In Helena, Montana.
Gamble bounces one over to Votto, covering his leap for the out. Gamble retired. I want to remind you to come out to Miller Park for the Negro Leagues tribute game tomorrow. The Brewers will wear special uniforms as tribute to the Milwaukee Bears. Call 414-902-4000. Helena, Montana would have been, what, short A, rookie ball back then?
Pioneer League,
Is
rookie
that where
ball.
your professional career started?
It did. Roger Kaplinger picked me up from the airport. How about that?
He picked you up, the athletic trainer, and immediately put you on ice.
Well, I was only 150 pounds when I signed, so.
Yeah, right. Gotta put some meat on them bones.
He does a great job for the guys. Keeps them loose, but thorough job. Really, really, really. Brewers are lucky to have a guy like him. He's different than most trainers, though, in baseball. Most trainers in baseball are not as funny as Roger.
Yes, he has that comedic influence, to say the least. He'd be great at a celebrity roast. As Katse grounds out. 2 outs in the inning.
He doesn't take the ribbing as well, though, as he gives it.
What was your worst injury of your career that really set you back for a while?
I think being traded to the Mariners was my worst injury.
Still make your home in Seattle?
I do.
Proud Seattle resident.
The Emerald City.
We thank you for coming all the way from Seattle to fill in for Rock. Bill Schroeder is going to be away from the club for a week. He is on a vacation with his wife Kate, celebrating her birthday, and we wish him well. And great family moment for the Schroeders, and we appreciate Jeff Cirillo being available out of the bullpen.
He's going to the Northwest. I'm coming.
That's right. Betancourt, little flare into right center. Bruce is there, and Leake a 1, 2, 3, 4th inning. We'll go to the 5th. Cincinnati 4, Milwaukee 1.
Contact calls Milwaukee Brewers the next 24 hours at 414-902-4572. Bubba's Bar and Grill will receive 40 Miller Lite beer pen tickets to a 2011 Milwaukee Brewers home game. This offer is courtesy of the Tavern League of Wisconsin and Miller Lite.
You did it, Jeff Cirillo.
I'm selling ads. I'm doing it.
That's Rock's thing now.
Okay.
So next time, let's do it with a little more Schroeder.
Okay.
I don't know what that means, but just try to add a little more Schroeder, how you see it. As Votto on the first pitch pops up to Gamble. Are you thinking about how you can add a little more Schroeder to that next time? AT&T trivia: prior to the 2011 season, named the last team to hit 100+ homers in 6 straight seasons before the All-Star break.
Cincinnati Reds. Oh, there it is.
There it is.
I saw it. That was not my guess, by the way.
What was your guess?
I would have said the Yankees.
The Yankees?
Yeah.
That would have been a good guess. But that's not the right answer.
No.
So there you go. You're already applying your Schroederisms. Very nice. You're stepping right in. The Tavern of the Game. Bubba's gets a little Cirillo time tonight.
Greinke just doubled up on back-to-back curveballs at 67 and 68 miles an hour.
He was behind Brandon Phillips. He fooled Votto. Greinke giving up 2 in the first on 4 hits. Gave up 2 runs in the 3rd inning. Greinke giving up 2 runs on 2 hits in the 3rd. He loaded the bases to start the inning. Had bases loaded, nobody out. He struck out Phillips and Bruce. Then gave up a hit to Scott Rowland. It was a hot ground ball. There are third basemen in the league. The Reds have one in Rowland that make that play. But it was certainly a hard hit ball in the hole between short and third. And Gamble had to go right over his glove as he stretched out. 2 runs came in.
Tough first chance of the year for Gamble at third base, huh?
Yeah,
Didn't get one last Sunday?
No, he started last Sunday. Did not get one ground ball in the Greinke game.
Right.
Been playing first base most of the season. 2-2. Gamble again. And he winds it up. Makes a good throw. 2 outs in the inning. Well, who is this week's king of social media? Check out Paul Emmig's Top Wisconsin Tweets every Friday on Fox Sports Wisconsin. Are you tweeting these days?
I don't know. I don't have a Twitter account. I do have a Facebook account.
Is that right?
Yes. And a lot of your friends from the fantasy baseball commented on tonight's game.
Oh, is that right?
Yes. If we had more time, I'd share them with you.
We had a great time at fantasy camp. Jeff Cirillo was one of the coaches. As Bruce goes into center field, back is Morgan, and the side retired. Greinke needed an inning like that. A quick one. 1, 2, 3. The Reds go in order. Back at Miller Park, Milwaukee 4-1. The Reds lead the Brewers as we head to the bottom of the 5th inning. Greinke coming off a 3-up, 3-down inning in a very quick 5th inning for Greinke. And now we'll see if the Brewers can get the bats going against a tough right-hander, Mike Leake. They only run a Ricky Weeks inside the park homer. In the 3rd inning, it came with 2 outs. Brewers had a chance in that inning. They brought Fielder to the plate with 2 on and 2 outs, but Leake induced the ground ball from Fielder and got out of the mess. Lucroy starts it for Milwaukee in the 5th. Grounded out his last time up. When Leake is right, the ground balls come often.
That's right. Always like playing behind guys like this that work quick, pitch down in the zone. You know you're going to get a lot of action out there. Game's in fast. Get hungry too, quickly.
Kill that spread after the game.
Oh,
a lot faster. 0-2 pitch. Lucroy takes one inside for a ball.
He's got a little Dennis Martinez in him. You notice that little high legs and the high socks. Works quick, little elbows.
Not a big guy. He's Cirillo size for a major leaguer, right? You look eye to eye to him.
Martinez was like that too. Dennis Martinez didn't have the overhand curveball with a big jaw in your mouth, but
as he strikes out Mike Leake, Brian Anderson with Jeff Cirillo, the king of Facebook, filling in for Bill Schroeder. And you know, as we continue on here, the more Schroederisms you can apply to your craft, that would be appreciated. You know, not just the stuff you do off camera to make fun of him. You said it was big shoes to fill,
right?
But big head to fill as well.
Exactly.
Those headsets had to be tightened down a little bit.
Actually, this thing is really sitting on me loosely.
Zach Greinke with a base hit. Well, maybe that'll get Milwaukee going. Greinke comes up with his 5th hit of the year. Now 5 for 20 at the plate, and a base runner for Ricky Weeks. Are you having fun, man? You're doing a good job so far.
I like it. You think Greinke was looking for the first pitch breaking ball right here? First pitch curveball. Hammers it up the middle.
It's not normally the pitch you would be hunting.
See it high, let it fly.
Maybe he just made up his mind to swing at the first pitch, and it just happened to be a curveball. Well, could be big. It gives Ricky Weeks a chance. Inside the park home run, his last time up. You know, the last time I did a game, a Brewers game, when Rock was gone, he was at his daughter's graduation. Dan O'Brien filled in, and we had an inside the park home run. Prince Fielder, of all people.
I was on the field when Prince Fielder hit a inside the park home run at the Metrodome, Minnesota.
That's right. That's where Dan was. As Weeks sends one into the gap right center. That's going to go to the wall. See what kind of speed Greinke has. He is going to try to score. Here comes a throw, and Greinke is safe at home. All the way from first. Greinke scores on Weeks' double.
That's a good piece of hitting right there. Little cutter on the outside part of the plate. This is the difference right here of Ricky Weeks of old and the Ricky Weeks of new. Cutter out over the plate, hammers it to right center. Just cuts straight down on that ball, cuts the ball in half. Zach Greinke flying around third base. Looked like Eddie Cedar jumped on his back coming around home here, but had enough gas in the tank.
Yeah, Greinke safe at home, safe and secure. New York life. And a pretty good slide by Greinke in case there was a play at the plate. He went to the back corner. It's a double and an RBI. Here is Nigel Morgan now. Greinke huffing and puffing around third, and he goes to the back corner. Catches it with his hand. A good throw. There's going to be a close play. Greinke might have gotten himself in there had there been a better throw from the cutoff man. Showing you some of his athleticism. Aren't many pitchers that can score from first on a double, especially with the kind of arms the Reds have in the relay.
If you look at that play though, Jay Bruce kind of lobbed the ball in from right field, and there's a lot of air under the ball, and Phillips made a great throw from second base to home. That's one of those ones as a third base coach, you're just holding your breath. You want the guy to be safe, but you also don't want the pitcher to get hurt in those situations.
Well, the Brewers needed that kind of spark. And Roger Kaplinger at work trying to make sure his starting pitcher is able to continue. Pitchers are like quarterbacks. Any kind of scrape, and the full force of the medical staff will be in his presence.
Kid gloves.
Kid gloves. Greinke's hit leads to the second run.
So here you go, Ricky Weeks, cutter out over the plate. Look at that ball just gain speed as it gets in there. Jay Bruce comes up here, flips it high in the air, and this is why Eddie Cedar can bring Greinke home to the plate with an awkward slide, but he gets it done.
That's a good call.
Brewers are semi-building a fence here.
As Morgan off the glove of Cozart, and Ricky Weeks coming in to throw all the way in. Weeks scores. Morgan ends up at second. That was closer than Weeks thought it would be. He scores the run, and the Brewers keep the wheel in motion. They are down by a run. It is now 4-3 Cincinnati.
Game of inches right here. Ricky Weeks taking off on the play. Very fortunate that the ball was not caught by the shortstop off his glove right here. That's either an incredible read or right here, Stubbs come up throwing, allowing Morgan to get to second base. Corey Hart's got to get back in the pitch there and get down there and help his all-star out.
And the high throw from Stubbs allows Morgan to second base. Weeks scores the run, and it is 4-3. The Brewers are within a run. I think you're right. Weeks very lucky to be able to score on that and not have that turn into a double play, which would have ended the inning.
Sometimes you don't know where that shortstop is behind you. You just think that the ball's right over your left shoulder on those plays, and the shortstop's not in the area, and actually he's there. Fortunate situation for the Brewers, but it worked out.
Well, maybe things are turning in the Brewers' favor. They've had their lumps over the last 10 days. But back-to-back wins. Now they are within a run of the Reds. Runner at second with one out. And Hart back up the middle. And that is going to fall for a base hit. Here comes Morgan. They're going to stop him around third. With Fielder coming up, Ed Cedar taking no chances. It looked like Stubbs was content to let him score. But Morgan did not get a great jump on that ball. And he ends up at third base.
Check out this highlight right here. Catcher's calling for a fastball up on Hart. He misses down, out over the plate. Kind of reminiscent of the last swing by Corey Hart. Using the middle of the field. Good hitting. Niger thinking that the ball might get caught halfway. Playing it safe.
Taking no chances with Field coming up. Runners at the corners. And Prince takes a strike. Well, we'll see if Hart is going to be put in motion. Fielder has hit 2 balls on the ground against Mike Leake.
I'd be very surprised to see Corey Hart running in this situation with Gamble on deck.
And Fielder rips one to right. That is at Bruce. He's got it. Morgan will tag and score, and that's why you hold him up. Morgan scores the run, and we are tied. Fielder drives in number 72, and the Brewers have come back. It is now 4-4. A 3-run inning so far for Milwaukee in the 5th.
Fastball in right here. Watch him bring his hands tight inside right there. Good piece of hit. Good pitch. Tie game.
Well, the question is Prince Fielder pointing at Niger Morgan or Ed Cedar? Thanks for that RBI, man. Here's Gamble.
You know, I just don't watch Major League Baseball that closely to see. But that stuff you'd never see before. I don't know. I can't really give you an answer.
What kind of analyst are you, Jeff Cirillo?
A raw one. Very raw.
See, we'll follow up tonight. Telly will ask Ed Cedar that. Or Prince Fielder. He'll say, Prince, who were you pointing at? Niger Morgan or Ed Cedar? But that's the right move. You made a good point. Ed Cedar holds up Niger Morgan. He got a late break. You don't want to run the risk because you've got the #1 RBI man in the National League coming up with 1 out. Pretty good chance you're going to be able to score him. We'll see if Gamble can keep it going. 2 men are out. And Gamble slices it foul.
Looks like Leake's really doing his scouting report on Gamble is just down and away, down and away, down and away. Making Gamble go the other way. See if he can do it.
Sam LeCure, the Reds' long man in the bullpen, getting loose.
That is the difference between the big leagues and the minor leagues. Is you better hit that fastball and you better hit it away. You got to prove to the big league pitchers that you can hit the fastball away. Then they make an adjustment.
Prince Fielder's done such a great job all year using the opposite field. But lately, especially against the Reds, they've challenged him inside, and he's made him pay.
Well, there's advanced scouts in the stands. I mean, whatever's working, you stick with it, and whatever's not working, you change it up. Of course, you have to have the arsenal of pitchers to do that. If they say to Prince Fielder, you know, challenge him up, and the last guy did it, and he was throwing 95, and then you have a guy like Leake throwing 88 to 91. Well, that doesn't work quite as well.
The Brewers have 3 runs in, looking for more, and Leake drops the baseball. That'll be a balk. And Hart on his way to second. And everything falling apart for Mike Leake and the Reds here in this 5th inning. Well, now a base hit. The Brewers will take the lead.
Always interesting right there. Check it out. Ball's in the glove. I always teach my little league guys to put the ball in your hand. Then you don't have to reach in and get it.
The 0-2. Gamble, little bouncer. Coming in, Phillips, the Gold Glover, makes a play to end the inning, but a good one for Milwaukee. The Brewers get it started on a Greinke single. They rip off 4 consecutive hits. Score 3 runs. We are all tied at 4 as we go to the 6th. The 6th inning, this copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Brewers and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without express written consent of the Milwaukee Brewers. Scott Rowland leads off for Cincinnati. Rowland, Heisey, and Hannigan due up. The Brewers get 3 in the 5th on 4 hits and a sac fly. They tie it up. If you're Dusty Baker, Jeff, you're looking at this game. The Reds put up 4 runs on Zach Greinke. You're feeling pretty good about things with Mike Leake on the mound, but they have allowed the Brewers to get back in it.
Brewers have a strong offense, especially at home. I mean, no lead is safe, especially when they're wearing the retros. 2-0 in the retros.
No retros tomorrow. They're going with the Negro League throwback uniforms. That could disrupt a little karma in the clubhouse. But if they win tonight, you'll probably see them again Sunday.
As a player, you always loved wearing the retro uniforms.
Is that right?
Yeah, I love them. It's different.
Because I get the sense that this current crop of Brewers, they don't like the retro unis. It's just my sense. They like what they normally wear. Their routine. It's a little bit out of their
I think
routine.
You know why that is? I think that because they do it more than once during the season. They might do 3, 4, 5, 6 different uniforms, then it gets kind of, the novelty wears off.
I see.
Do you remember, I don't know if you were around then, you were kind of a young guy. I don't know if you remember the Future unis that the Brewers wore.
No, I don't remember that.
One time.
Rolen, little half swing, he goes. Rolen is asking Chris Conroy to ask for help. Chris Conroy says, I don't need it. And out goes Scott Rolen. Another strikeout for Zach Greinke.
He's got some definite depth on that curveball. You get a big league hitter to look like that on a curveball when he might be expecting it, you got a good curveball.
9 strikeouts for Zach Greinke.
The old future uni that we wore back in the day.
The future uni. Did it look like anything that has actually occurred lately, which would have been the future? What year are we talking about?
I'd say
County Stadium days?
1999, and it was a Bernie Brewer, big burly baseball player with a barrel around his chest.
Oh, man. There's a strike on Heisey.
They got half the uni right. You know why? Because it was a sleeveless shirt.
Ah. Well, that's kind of an old school thing anyway. Ted Kluszewski. Back in the old days of the Reds, the sleeveless jerseys. Whoa. 61 miles per hour. Oh, man. That's worth another look. Whoop.
Look at that.
That's as close to an ephus as you can find. Rip Sewell in Zach Greinke's uniform as Heisey goes into left. Backing up Katze with room. He's got it, out number 2. It has been a strange game for Zach Greinke. Had a very rough start to this one. The Reds came at him early and often, scoring 2 runs on 4 hits in the first inning. But all of a sudden, Greinke, after the 2-run third, has settled down for Milwaukee and allowed his offense to come back.
You can feel it. You can feel the momentum. I mean, when a guy throws a 61-mile-an-hour pitch in there, he's playing. He's having a good time, right? 61-mile-an-hour curveball. He's feeling part of the game. Maybe not taking it as serious. He's letting his ability play out. $35-mile-an-hour difference. Yeah, I think that was your fastball in fantasy camp. 61.
No question.
And it looked hard then.
And it hurt. 96 with the fastball. 61 with, are we calling that a curveball? The slow pitch?
Flipped curveball.
The flipped curveball.
Yep.
All right.
You flip it.
Randy Wolf has one of those flip curveballs, but he's never been as slow as 61. I think what Rick Kranitz and Ron Renicky want to see more than anything is how Greinke gets through the 6th inning. He just ran the bases. He scored from first. He had a slide at home. And his pitch count is up over 100 now. It was starting to look like in the 3rd inning he was going to have time getting through 5, much less 6. I suppose with a couple of extra days off, if Greinke can retire Hannigan here, there's a chance he could come back out for the 7th. Yeah, but he let him get away. Hannigan draws the walk.
Spot's coming up 4th next inning. Definitely have a decision to make.
So a 2-out walk. Mike Leake is going to hit. Greinke's pitch count at 103. Ron Renicky said that he allowed Gallardo to go 10 extra pitches or so, a couple of extra batters, because of the off days that will occur for the All-Star break. Both pitchers pitching for the final time until the All-Star break. And Renicky has said, although he's discussing maneuvering the starting rotation, most likely he'll keep it the same, which will give all of the starters the 3 days extra rest. They'll be pitching on their 8th day next time around. The only guaranteed slot, Ron Renicky pointed out, was Gallardo's spot on Thursday in Colorado. He will start the first game back of the 2nd half. Other than that, they might mix and match. It all depends on how these starting pitchers go the rest of this half until the All-Star break. Tied him up. Good fastball. 1-2 the count on the Reds pitcher, Mike Leake.
I know it was a pitcher swinging the bat right there, but That was a nasty pitch. 93-mile-an-hour fastball boring in on your hands.
Leake handles the bat pretty well. He's hitting .250 this year. 8 for 32 at the plate. Got a runner on with 2 outs. And Leake lays off. He looks like a hitter.
Greinke, to me, the last 2 innings definitely has a lot more flow to his game. I mean, you can feel a surge. You can feel an energy to his game now that he's a little bit more in command.
Looking for a put-away pitch here in the 6th. Might be his last hitter. And a swing and a miss. Zach Greinke. A great bounce back tonight. 4 runs early, locked down the Reds the last 3 innings. 10 strikeouts. The Wisconsin Lottery, reminding you to please play responsibly. By Airtran, go, there's nothing stopping you. And by the Miller Lite Vortex bottle, taste greatness. Sausage race, the headliners at Miller Park in the 6th inning. Boy, the Brock, now that Bill Schroeder is gone, I think he's feeling some pressure lifted off of him. Rock's been so critical of the Broad. But an easy handoff. Check it out here. Casey McGee helping out the little Broad. That's Mac McGee under there, I believe. Getting the run in the sausage race, man. Good for Mac. That's away.
That's cool.
Very cool. Father and son.
Oh,
good catch.
Nice job. Good hands.
Well, Mike Leake back on the mound. We move to the bottom of the 6th inning in a 4-4 game. Greinke's spot due up 4th in this frame. Mark Kotsay leads off, and he rips one into left center field. That is way back there, and Kotsay has gone downtown. The Brewers have taken the lead on a Mark Kotsay home run. His 2nd of the year as Kotsay, playing left field for Braun, does his best Braun impression.
This little sinker got too much of the plate. Good hitter, stays out there. It's warming up. Panels are open. Ball jumps, you're rewarded for that.
And a great reaction from the Brewer dugout. Milwaukee has come all the way back, down 4-0. After 2.5, the Brewers chip away. They have finally taken the lead, and a big smile on Greinke's face. Betancourt on the ground. Big bounce. Cozart makes a nice play. The throw in time. Boy, he is smooth. That's short. I'll take you around the league. A couple of all-stars that will not be playing the All-Star game. Shane Victorino was the vote-in, and he has decided that he will miss the game with a sprained thumb. Alex Rodriguez and Derek Jeter not at the All-Star game either. Jeter with that calf injury that's had him on the disabled list. He's just returned. And Alex Rodriguez has been nursing that sore knee. And obviously those two going to use the All-Star break to recover. Yankees fans disappointed they don't get to see their stars. But I think the Yankees are pretty well represented elsewhere.
It's a long way to travel too. East Coast, West Coast.
Aging stars thinking about the second half. Alex Rodriguez, he continues to put up the numbers, but he looked like he was hurting when the Brewers played the Yankees. You know, he wasn't moving very well at third base. You could tell that right knee was bothering him a little bit. Also had the hip surgery a couple of years ago. He's still nursing that. And for Jeter, a calf injury, very similar to what Ryan Braun is dealing with. Yankees got rained out tonight. Jeter still 2 hits away from 3,000. As Lucroy draws the walk, that is a 1-out walk on 4 straight pitches. Well, Jeff, we've gone from 16 to the final 2 greatest moments in MLB All-Star Game history. You can go to MLB.com/moments. Vote now for your favorite Midsummer Classic moment. Either Cal Ripken's final All-Star game in 2001 or 1955 when Stan Musial hit a walk-off homer in the 12th inning. Tune into the MLB All-Star Game on Tuesday, July 12th, 7 Central on Fox to find out who won. So Leake walks Lucroy, and that is going to send Craig Counsell to the plate. Zach Greinke is out. 6 innings. Now in line for a win. Greinke gives up 4 runs, all earned. He strikes out 10. It's the 4th time this year Greinke has 10 strikeouts. And with a pinch hitter coming up, Dusty Baker is going to make a change. So the former teammates, Baker and Renicky, countering each other here. Mike Leake had a 4-0 lead. Let it get away. Now the Brewers on top, 5-4. A reminder to enter to win the Time Warner Cable Diamond Life Sweepstakes. One winner will take batting practice at Miller Park and score a major leaguer's salary for the day. Visit Brewers.com for details. So Kate gives Milwaukee the lead, puts Greinke in a winning position. Greinke lifted for the pinch hitter. Dusty Baker counters with Sam LeCure making his 19th appearance.
Yeah, Sam LeCure having a good year on so far. 2.81 ERA. Fastball slider guy. Sliders his pitch. Changeup. Definitely a competitor out there. Traditionally, though, his numbers have been better against left-handed hitters than righties. So, hence the counter by Dusty Baker. Going with the righty instead of the lefty against Craig Counsell.
Final numbers on Mike Leake. Still has a runner at first. That is his responsibility. At this point, 5 runs, 4 earned runs on a walk and 3 strikeouts. So here is Counsell pinch hitting.
Trying to see if the hit and run's in order right there. Seeing what LaCroix's doing over first base.
Counsell had a rough year offensively. Looking for a spark here. Good spot. With the Brewers up a run. But Counsell taking a lot of cuts lately. You've seen him in the cage. He's been working off the tee. He came out of that tunnel today just dripping sweat, trying to figure out his swing, where it is. Such a drastic change of a swing 2 years ago. Runner takes off. Hit and run is on. Swing and a miss. And Luke Croy dead to rights at second base. Hannigan throws him out easily. Out number 2 in the inning.
Hit and run was definitely on there. Fastball up out of the zone. Just interesting how baseball plays out right there, and the strategy that goes on. Came over twice for pickoffs. You don't know if LaCroix's giving it away or they have a sign or what it is. I mean, why would they pick over twice unless they thought the hit and run was on?
Now 2 gone, bases empty. And Counsell down in the count. Chased another one up there.
It's a tough thing, you know, when you're not playing every day. That ball looks very small. It's hard to track. I mean, you can track the ball in the cage all you want from a 50-mile-an-hour guy throwing or the machine, but you just can't simulate 90 miles an hour with movement.
Counsell fouls it away. Craig at 40 years of age, he's had a great career, but he is going through the kind of slump that he has not had to endure throughout his career for the most part. You know, one thing about Counsell, though, he certainly brings a lot to the table defensively. He's a guy you can plug in at third, short, second, reliable in that regard.
He's definitely not going to hurt you out there, and he handles the bat well.
Lays off. LeCure tried to get him to chase again.
Run the bases. Very professional approach to the game. Still grinding it out at 40.
And 2 World Series rings in his trophy case. One with the Marlins, the other with the Diamondbacks. And I think it's that kind of edge and that kind of experience that Ron Renicky looks to Counsell the most. He certainly wants him to fight his way out of the slump. He needs his skills on the field, but the hitting part is only part of the equation with Counsell. And Renicky has defended Counsell as much as possible. Loves having him on the club. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And he gets under this one. Joey Votto drifting into foul territory. He's got it, and the inning is over. But the Brewers get a big strike from Mark Kotsay. Opposite field home run. 5-4 Milwaukee. The Brewers in the lead. 6 at Miller Park. The Brewers down 4-0 early. Ricky Weeks with an inside the park home run, and then it was Weeks again with an RBI double through the gap in right center. Zach Greinke scoring all the way from first. Nigel Morgan drives one to center. That scores Ricky Weeks. The Brewers within a run. Then Prince Fielder, a sacrifice fly and an RBI to tie it. All 3 of those runs came in the 5th inning. And then Mark Kotsay in the 6th. His second home run as a Brewer goes to the opposite field into the bullpen, giving Milwaukee a 1-run lead. 5-4 Brewers. We go to the 7th. And the new pitcher for Milwaukee in for Zach Greinke is Zach Braddock.
23rd appearance on the season. I mean, overpowering fastball. Has a little trouble sometimes with the base on ball, but I mean, he is definitely tough on left-handed hitters, and big spot right here in the 7th inning, trying to get it to Axford.
Casey McGee takes over third base for Gamble. And here we go to the 7th inning. Drew Stubbs leads off. Stubbs, Cozart, and Votto top of the order for Cincinnati.
Interesting move on Renick's part, putting in McGee in almost a double switch when you bring Braddock the lefty in. Maybe thinking there might be more ground balls coming down the third base way.
Stubbs a little half swing. They'll ask if he went. No, he didn't. Well, this guy's been a tough out tonight. Drew Stubbs 3 for 3. Scored a run in the 3rd inning. That one's in there for a strike. 1-2 on Stubbs. Big outing for Zach Braddock. He's still looking for that shutdown inning. We talked on Brewers Live earlier and I about the moves the Brewers might make. We were thinking ahead with Doug Melvin. We had the general manager on with us yesterday. And, you know, I think every contending team, you made a good point in Brewers Live, Jeff, but every contending team is looking for bullpen help at this point, for the most part. Maybe other than the Atlanta Braves. They seem to be pretty well set. But everybody could use an arm in the pen.
Especially a lefty. Especially in this division with Votto and Bruce.
Stubbs lays off. Pretty good pitch from Braddock. But the count goes full, 3-2.
Berkman. You always want Berkman in the right hand side. Fastball's down a little bit.
So full count to Stubbs. Now the Brewers getting a scoreless inning last night from Takashi Saito, but he is still at that point as he is just now coming back. He's not available in back-to-back games. So that's an arm you're without. They're already playing with a short bullpen relative to these times in baseball. A 6-man bullpen at this point. Hawkins had a grind him out inning last night. Gave up a run in an inning.
No, they're expecting Bradford to get through the whole inning, not just a lefty setup here.
Full count to Stubbs. And that one is right down the pipe. Braddock strikes out Drew Stubbs. Fooled him with a fastball.
Look at that, Braddock. 93-mile-an-hour fastball. Here it is. I like that. Stares him down. I've seen this kid pitch a few times on TV. He definitely comes after some hitters. Not afraid to announce his presence with the fastball.
Well, he gets Stubbs. The Reds have struck out 11 times tonight. Greinke with 10 Ks, matching his season high.
Here's Zach Cozart, got his first major league hit and run scored last night. Parents in attendance. I love the shots of his mother and father yesterday. This is great. I think they're here tonight too.
The mom was very emotional. The father, he was statuesque. Well, what a great moment for them and their family. You'll never forget, I'm sure, the opportunity to play in the big leagues. Cozart has been destined to be a big leaguer since he was drafted. He was a second rounder out of Ole Miss. But even with all of that promise, the prospect labels, you still have to make it here. And being drafted in 07, he finally made it. And he looks like he's going to get some regular playing time for Cincinnati. He'll get his chance. He's already made some terrific plays at short. Line drive, base hit. That's his spot. So Cozart singles. And a base runner for Joey Votto. In a one-run game, Braddock will face Votto with a runner at first.
Kind of a blueprint of last night's hit. Same type of swing. Fastball out over the plate. Same result.
That was hit number one. Had the hustle play, scoring from first on a single from Hernandez, showing good speed to score that run.
Sometimes you just don't know what kind of speed a guy has until he shows it to you. That doesn't come up in the scouting report.
Votto fouls it away. Big matchup here for Braddock. Votto hits lefties extremely well, hitting .352 this year against left-handed pitching. Incredible numbers. Votto overall batting .319.
Well, when you stand the ball away like he did in that first inning, you can tell that he can handle a breaking ball from a lefty.
Now Braddock has had success against lefties this year. You see the numbers on Votto, the splits for Votto, the .352 average, hit for some power too against lefties. Zach Braddock is holding opponents to a .160 batting average.
He's got some deception. I mean, he's coming right through the left-handed batter's box with that three-quarter delivery, low three-quarter delivery.
Will have swing, and they say he's able to check it. 2-1. Zach Braddock wants an appeal, and they finally get an appeal. Looked like he came close to swinging. You'd be the judge.
Yeah, I think he did. There was commitment there.
So remember that camera angle is from the dugout, not directly down the line. So now Votto in a hitter's count. 5-4 Milwaukee. And Votto goes to the opposite field, a base hit. Katse over to cut it off and bobbles it. It gets by him, and this is going to allow a run to score. And Votto on his way to third. The throw in time. Oh, that is a huge error. A run scores. Votto ends up at third base. Still just one out. And we are tied at 5.
Ball slicing away down there into the corner on Katse. Fastball down and away. Votto again staying on the ball. That's why he hits .350 against lefties. Ball looks like it has side spin on it. Just doesn't get the glove underneath that ball. Watch his side spin on this ball. A little English on that thing.
Well, Katse had an error in Minneapolis very similar to that. Now a runner at third with one out. That forces the infield in with Brandon Phillips at the plate. Now the Brewers again have not had a good game defensively. Only one error on the board, but a few plays that should have been made. It'll be a double for Votto. Cozart scores on the error. Third error of the season for Katse. Ball and a strike.
Pretty good pitch right there from Braddock. Didn't get the call.
Phillips doubled off Greinke in the first. Scored a run. He's 1 for 3 tonight. Reds led 4-0. The Brewers came all the way back, scored 5 unanswered. Now Cincinnati has tied it. And a breaking ball that missed. 2 balls and a strike.
Looks like they're pitching pretty carefully here. Base open. Lefty coming up. Look for him to come back inside right here.
And Phillips launches one way back to right. Hart makes a catch, but this is going to allow the run to score. And the Reds have taken the lead 6-5. A very costly error here in the 7th inning. And Cincinnati with 2 on the board, they lead it once again. Sacrifice fly and an RBI for Brandon Phillips.
Well, like Braddock tried to come inside right there on Phillips, just got the ball a little bit over the plate. Hit the ball the other way. Set fly.
Here's Jay Bruce. Base is empty. The shift is on against Bruce. Brewers put 3 infielders on the right side. And that one is hit hard right field, and it's gone. Jay Bruce, a solo homer. And the Reds come right back. 3 on the board here in the 7th inning. And the Brewers bullpen woes continue. '20th home run of the year for Jay Bruce.
Fastball inside. Looking to go away. See LaCroix's glove move back to the inside. Drops the head on it. Just sneaks it over that bullpen out in right field.
And Braddock is going to be taken out. So Ron Renicky, a quick trip to the mound. He will take the ball from Braddock. And back to the bullpen. The Brewers down 2. 2 outs in the 7th. We'll set up the new pitcher when we come back. Inning, earlier in the inning, our Miller Lite What's on Tap, the Brewers and the Reds. Game 3 of the series tomorrow. We're on the air at 5:30, and then Sunday is a matinee here, family day here at the ballpark. 12:30 is airtime for Brewers Live, and then we are down for a while. The next game, the All-Star game, Tuesday on Fox. Cameron Lowe on the pitch, 2 outs. Base is empty after the Bruce home run. 3 runs in for Cincinnati. And a swing and a miss from Scott Rowland. All of the runs are earned runs. The home run made that so. You see the numbers on Cameron Lowe. Braddock goes 2/3 of an inning. 3 runs, all earned on 3 hits. And Rolen swings and misses. 0-2 the count. Nick Massett getting ready for the Brewers. Now Milwaukee is getting into the strength of the Reds, their bullpen. Rolen is 1 out of 3 tonight. He had a 2 RBI single with 2 outs in the third. Gave the Reds a 4-0 lead. Just got a piece of that one.
Well, you really feel the energy go out of this place after that home run, huh?
Well, the Brewers had taken the lead on a Katse home run in the 6th. And a live wire crowd just shy of 40,000. But a quick 3 runs for Cincinnati here in the 7th.
That's an interesting field alignment they got for Scott Rolen going on here. Got Ricky Weeks playing on the left side of second base. The stats say they don't lie, though.
The major shifting continues. It's almost like Rolen trying to shoot one to the opposite field.
I was just thinking that he's late on the ball. Guy boring his sinker in right here on Cameron Lowe, and you know the balls he puts in play. You know the majority of those balls are hitting those areas, right? You got a guy that's got a hard sinker, and you really don't want to try and pull it. You want to try and stay inside it as much as you possibly can here.
Right at fielder, and Lowe is there for him, so they get the out with the lone infielder on that side, and the inning is over. But damage done. The Reds get 3. Now the Brewers behind again.
Missing his 6th consecutive ball game. Ricky Weeks taking this team on his shoulders. 5 RBIs already in this series, Jerry.
Yeah, especially Ryan Braun being out of lineup. The Brewers are looking for someone to step up. And in this series, Ricky Weeks has done a big home run last night. Earlier, they hit the inside park home run. Hopefully, it started 7th. He's leading off. He can get something started for the Brewer offense.
All right, Ricky Weeks will be part of our Focus on Brewers Live post-game, after the ball game, plus the hot corner, the instructional tonight. Jerry and Rillo are going to break it down. Looking forward to that after the ball game here in Fox Sports Wisconsin. Brian?
All right, thanks, Craig. And Jerry, looking forward to Brewers Live following the game. The Brewers again find themselves behind. 7-5 Cincinnati. The Reds put 3 on the board in the 7th. And Ricky Weeks starts it against LeCure. Saw Massett loosening in the bullpen. Right now, LeCure is in victory. Brewers answered back from a 4-0 deficit and hope to do the same down a pair. Bill Bray loosening as well. You got a lefty next in Nyjer Morgan. And Fielder due up 4th in this inning.
Definitely the strength of this Reds team is that bullpen. Cordero, Chapman's back. Massett.
It was a tough bullpen to get through. It's one of the main reasons the Reds won the division last year. Called a strike, and it's 1-2 on Weeks. Right part of the order to get something done. The Brewers with the top of the order. Weeks has been a hot hitter tonight. 2 hits. Had an inside the park homer in the 3rd inning. A double and an RBI in the 5th. Now 39 runs batted in. 6 of his 17 home runs against Cincinnati this year. And Ricky Weeks down on strikes. Out number 1 of the 7th. Leads us to our Ho Chunk Gaming text question. We got a text from Jason. Has there ever been an inside the park grand slam? And the answer is yes. It was Randy Wen back in '99. I believe he was playing for the Tampa Bay at that time the Devil Rays against the New York Yankees. On the heels of Ricky Weeks' solo inside the park home run tonight. Did you ever have an inside the parker, Jeff?
I didn't. Never. I've only seen, this is my 3rd one I've ever seen. David Holtz hit one.
David Holtz.
The stadium.
Texas Rangers?
Yeah. At the old Yankee Stadium.
I played against Holtz in college. He could fly.
Yeah.
Man, he could fly. Morgan into center field. Stubbs is there, and it's out number 2.
Yeah, that ball went a long way.
Ball is carrying tonight.
It's heating up around Major League Baseball. Tempers too.
Tempers indeed. That David Ortiz got into a scuff with Kevin Gregg today of the Baltimore Orioles at Fenway. That was a wild one. Matter of fact, here is video proof. Ortiz had popped up. Gregg's waving him off, and before the umpire could even get out there, they are trading roundhouses.
Looked like a little Rocky Balboa there with the left hook.
Kevin Gregg is an enormous human being as well. That's 2 big boys going at it. That was the Red Sox and the Orioles earlier tonight at Fenway. As Corey Hart delivers his 3rd hit. All singles, all back up the middle. 3 for 4 after 2 hits last night. And here comes Prince Fielder.
This is almost a replica of the last 3 swings. Slider down and away. Serves it up the middle. Take what they give you.
And that forces the hand of Dusty Baker. He will make the change. He's going to the left-hander with Fielder coming up. Tying run will bat. Out is LeCure. We'll take a break. Brewers will bring the tying run to the plate in the person of Prince Fielder, and Dusty Baker counters with the left-hander Bill Bray.
Bill Bray, fastball, slider, changeup guy. Hasn't given a home run all year long. Lefty's hitting $170 off of him. Matchup right here if I'm Prince Fielder. It's interesting to see, though, whenever they bring that lefty specialist in, they always throw that first pitch slider. Larry Walker always told me I always look first pitch slider on this guy, and usually the best lefties in the game usually do. So let's see if that plays out right here.
Fielder having a good year against lefties. And he gets a first pitch breaking ball. As predicted. At the plate presented by Wendy's. Fielder with 2 ground outs to start his night. Then he had a game tying sac fly in the 5th. Sent Bruce deep to right field. Back to the warning track. Big cut and a miss.
You usually don't see an 86-mile-an-hour slider from most lefties, especially specialist type lefties, usually a bigger breaking slider.
Logan Andrusek in the Cincinnati bullpen. 1 ball, 1 strike on Fielder. And a swing and a miss. And now you see why Bray has not given up a home run all season. And pitching mostly to left-handed batters. He is a situational lefty for Dusty Baker. Occasionally he'll go a full inning, but he is in that bullpen for this spot.
I'd expect a slider off the plate away here.
Fielder able to lay off. 2-2 the count.
Well, he's thrown 4 in a row. How about 5? BA?
That seems like his bread and butter. Fielder looks like he's ready to swing at it. See what he has in mind. And Fielder lays off another one. That was a wicked breaking ball from Bray, and Fielder shows you his skill at the plate.
This was a tough pitch to take right here.
A big league take. And now the crowd on their feet. Nearly 40,000 at Miller Park. What does Bray give him here?
6 in a row.
We got Casey McGee coming up next.
You're going to get beat. You can get beat with your best pitch.
Hart takes off. Fielder rips one to right. That's a base hit. Hart on his way to third. And he'll hold up there. Prince Fielder wins the battle. What an at-bat that was. The kind of at-bat.
Well, this was just slider on slider. Here we go. Pitch 1, slider away. Pitch 2, slider away. Pitch 3, slider away. 4, off. And those are tough pitches. Tough pitches. And this one's on the inner half. And he hits it in there. That's a great at-bat. I mean, really, Bray did his job. I mean, he threw strikes with his slider. He didn't get the pitch. You got to come to him on 3-2 for a strike. He's having a great year.
Baseball, he retires right there.
Oh, absolutely.
Fielder comes up big. He represents the tying run. Another pitching change. He is aboard representing the tying run. The potential go-ahead run is coming up to the plate in Casey McGee. And he'll face Logan Ondrusek. A tough right-hander, had a great year last year, and he's off to a stellar 2011 as well. A 1.73 earned run average, and Dusty Baker uses him a lot. Casey McGee is first at bat. Let's take you back to Wednesday afternoon against the Diamondbacks. The Brewers in the 7th inning down 1-0. And Casey McGee delivers with a 2-strike, 3-run homer to right center. And it proved to be the game winner, a big moment for McGee. And the Brewers are hoping he has another one in him. Came in defensively for Gamble when the Brewers took the lead in the 6th. And his first trip to the plate.
Got himself in a nice hitter's count right here, 2-0. Facing a tough righty.
Got Hart at third, Fielder at first. Well, McGee fouls it away, tried to check his swing.
And Ondrusek looks like he's got a little natural cut to his ball at 93.
That cut fastball taught to him by former Red Tom Browning just 2 years ago. That one's in there for a strike, a breaking ball that time. That cut fastball for Ondrusek changed his career completely.
That's the breaking ball.
Well, now McGee in a tough spot. He thought it was down. 2-2. John stays at 2-2.
We got 95-mile-an-hour fastball, 93-mile-an-hour cutter, and a 75-mile-an-hour curveball. We got the book on him. Big spot right here for McGee again.
Brewers have benefited from some big 3-run homers the last 2 games. McGee on Wednesday, Weeks last night. A home run here gives the Brewers the lead. As McGee goes down the line, foul. And the count remains at 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Well, it sure looks like McGee, in just the 2 games that I've watched him play, really trying to make an emphasis of hitting the ball to right field. Trying to stay on that ball, keeping that front side in. Have to stay on this cutter away.
2-2 pitch. McGee takes a called strike 3. And down he goes, and down go the Brewers in the 7th. They strand 2. Ondrusek with a big strikeout. Reds still lead 7-5.
Tomorrow's game, and it certainly looks like the weather will be cooperating. Expecting another beautiful game here with mainly clear skies, remaining quite warm as well. Our first pitch temperature almost into the 80s.
Violetta, thank you. On a beautiful night for baseball tonight. The Brewers and the Reds, game 2 of this series. And Cincinnati leading 7-5. Heisey leads off, drops a bunt. Lowe's throw is in time. 1 pitch, 1 out as Heisey tries to bunt his way on.
Big guy got off the mound pretty good right there. Trying to get something started. Playing off the back foot. Look at those big hands. Look like a little shortstop right there. Catch the ball off the inside of that right foot.
And a power sinker over the fielder.
That's right.
From down under. So Lowe came on to finish the 7th inning. Got rolling to ground out. Looks like he has good stuff tonight. The Reds scored 3 runs off Zach Braddock in the 7th inning, all earned. There was an error in the inning. Braddock giving up 3 hits, 2/3 of an inning. The Brewers had come back. They trailed 4-0. They scored 5 unanswered to take the lead, only to give it right back in the 7th.
Sharp breaking ball right there. 2 in a row.
In a game that has seen an inside the park home run by Ricky Weeks. Hannigan over to third base. McGee sets his feet. Good throw. 2 outs in the inning. And 3 ground ball outs for Cameron Lowe. So Baker will go to the bench. Fred Lewis is going to come on to pinch hit. This guy has done a job off the bench for Dusty Baker this season.
8 for 15. Batting over 500. That's not easy to do.
He's got a couple of home runs, 14 runs batted in. One of those home runs in a pinch hitting role.
It's the right matchup right here. Right-handed side armor, lefty. Guys that throw from the underneath right there on the right side, you don't really realize how hard it is to pick up that ball. Mariners got a guy, Brandon League, all-star. Throws 97 from down there.
Yeah, he's been
Good
a
luck.
great story for Seattle this year.
Up here.
Both of those guys, you know, that trade was Brandon Morrow going from the Mariners to the Blue Jays and League going the other way. And I think both organizations felt like they just needed to change scenery with that particular pitcher. So they swapped pitchers.
Right.
Morrow, who battles diabetes, he's got a great arm, looks like a great talent as a starter, and League has had a tremendous year. Little half swing, and he goes, and Lucroy slaps a tag on him for the out. So Cameron Lowe retires all 4 he faces. We head to the bottom of the 8th. The Brewers coming up.
drive one to right center, and he would touch all 4 bags for an inside the park home run to make it a 4-1 ball game. In the 5th, Weeks wasn't finished. An RBI double made it 4-2. Nigel Morgan with an RBI single. Reds lead 4-3, and Prince Fielder with an RBI sac fly to right would tie things up in the bottom of the 5th inning. And in the 6th is Mark Kotsay with a solo home run to put the Crew on top 5-4, but in the top of the 7th inning, Joey Votto was single to left. Marcotte couldn't come up with it cleanly. Zach Cozart would score to make it a 5-5 game. Brandon Phillips would give the Reds a lead with an RBI sac fly to right. And Jay Bruce would extend that lead to 2 runs with a solo home run of his own to make it a 7-5 ball game. And that's where we stand here in the bottom of the 8th, B.A.
All right, Telly, thanks. And it is Mark Kotsay to lead off against hard-throwing Nick Massett, the Red setup man. 7-5 Reds. Massett appearing for the 44th time this year. Big strikeout numbers from Massett, but also has high walk numbers. Brewers try to get something going from the bottom of their batting order. Kotsay, then Betancourt, followed by Lucroy, and then the pitcher spot.
Yeah, that's one of the first things you'd look at as a hitter. Kotsay in this situation, 2-0 count. He's got 22 walks on the season in 44 innings. 4.5 walks per 9. You're going to work the count and get that tying run up to the plate.
He was falling behind 3-0.
And he was taken all the way on 2-0 right there. I wouldn't be surprised if we take another one right here.
Marco Estrada preparing for the 9th inning unless the Brewers can tie it or take the lead. The 3-1. Kotsay takes a strike. Taken all the way, it looked like.
You think? I think so.
Kotsay's home run back in the 6th inning gave Milwaukee the lead. His 2nd Brewer home run. Trying to get on base to start this inning. Kotsay slaps it foul.
Definitely not a shortage of velocity out down there in the Reds bullpen, especially with Chapman down there. I've never seen him throw live. How's that?
Well, we could see Aroldis Chapman tonight. Brewers are hoping to see him. That means they would have either tied it or taken the lead. Massett worked an inning last night. Picked up a strikeout, worked a scoreless inning.
Mid-90s fastball.
This is his 3rd consecutive game. Massett worked in that 9-8 Reds win over St. Louis. Won a scoreless inning with a couple of strikeouts. And even though he's pitched in back-to-back games, he hasn't thrown that many pitches. Just 16 on Wednesday. He threw just 9 yesterday in a scoreless inning. Full count to Kotsay. And that one's hit well. But Stubbs will run it under. Makes the play for the out. Kotsay just got under it a touch. Barreled it up, but just under it, and one gone here in the 8th.
After falling behind 3-0 right there, comes in, pumps in 5 straight fastballs for strikes. That's what you do in those situations on 3-2. You're just trying to work the walk all you can do and see the ball as long as you can, and the last thing you want to do is swing at a ball. Ball gets on you a little bit.
See George Kataris. Got Lucroy next, then the pitcher spot. Betancourt is 0 for 3. 7-5 Cincinnati. Reds took the lead with 3 runs in the 7th inning. Massett has had just 2 blow-up games this year. That's how good he's been for the Reds. Gave up 3 runs against the Dodgers back in June. Allowed 4 runs at Arizona way back in April at the beginning of the season. Other than that, mostly zeros for Massett. Betancourt pops it up. Out number 2, 2 fly ball outs. Well, Jeff Cirillo and Jerry Augustine, the instructional after the game, fielding the hot corner. What will your role be in the instructional, Jeff?
Well,
will you be the third baseman, or are you going to make Jared play a left-handed hot corner?
I better start stretching it out here now. So I don't know. We'll talk about some things, some setup, just how the ball gets on you a little bit, and catching the ball in proper fielding formation, shortening the gap with a 4-seam grip, and throwing through the target instead of to the target.
Wow. Very nice. Normally, Rock would say something like, oh, well, I'll find out when I get down there. I'll let you know when I get down there. But you actually have a plan, it sounds like.
Well, he's better at this than I am. I have to plan ahead. He's better on the fly.
Looking forward to the instructional tonight. Lucroy takes a strike.
Hopefully it won't be for a while, though.
Yeah, the Brewers would love to make it a good news instructional. Braun still sitting out with a calf strain, missing a 6th consecutive start.
It's a horrible feeling in that dugout, too. It is. You feel just helpless. You're sitting there in uniform. You got your cleats on. You want to go out there. And the other thing is about it is you're tired. You're even more tired when you leave because there's no release. Right? You build up all this adrenaline. You're a machine. You want to play. You want to play. The team loses. And you feel like it's on your shoulders when they lose.
Now, Braun has been anxious to get back. He has been held back. They want to make sure that this calf injury doesn't turn into something more serious that would knock him out for a month, 6 weeks. And what started out as an injury that might cost him a game or 2 has now cost him 6. Ball and 2 strikes on Lucroy. Count remains at 1-2.
The other thing too, BA, with Ryan is it's not like he's playing third base or first base or catcher. Outfielders run around, backing up plays, backing up the center fielder, left center field, steals at third, running out every inning to the position. Outfielders run a lot more than people think they do. Just because they might not get a lot of action out there, they're still backing it up, and just in case.
Lucroy strikes out Massett. A clean inning. 1, 2, 3. The Brewers go in order. And we're headed to the 9th. Miller Park, Milwaukee. The roof is open. The Brewers are trailing, however, on a warm night in Milwaukee. Got a couple of changes here for the Brew Crew. They make a double switch. Marco Estrada is on the pitch with the Brewers down 7-5. And George Kataris will take over behind the plate. Kataris will lead off the 9th inning. So the changeup specialist Marco Estrada trying to hold the Reds to just a 2-run lead, give the Brewers a chance in the bottom of the 9th inning with the pinch hitter, then the top of the order coming up. Brian Anderson with Jeff Cirillo, Telly Hughes. Tonight's game being produced by Chris Withers, directed by Michael Odino. Top of the order for Cincinnati here in the 9th. Drew Stubbs, who is 3 out of 4. Zach Greinke started this game, went 6 innings, gave up 4 earned runs, but struck out a season high tying 10 batters today. The 4th time this year he has struck out 10. Stubbs into right field. Back is Hart with room. 1 pitch, 1 out for Marco Estrada. One gone for Zach Cozart. He entered the game after Renteria was hit by a Greinke fastball in the 3rd inning. Cozart 1 out of 2, his 3rd plate appearance.
He's the one that got everything started, though, for him. 3-run inning.
Cozart, after 1 out, after Stubbs had struck out in the 7th, got a base hit to left. He scored a run on an error. Joey Votto had a base hit, had a double. And then Jay Bruce a solo homer in the 7th inning. Here is the Reds closer, Francisco Cordero, the former Brewer. Nice play. Estrada stabs one, and an easy out after that. 2 gone in the 9th. Well, the big question is, as we move ahead to the 9th inning, and you're looking at spots where you might see Ryan Braun pinch hit. Remember the other day against the Diamondbacks, Braun actually had a bat in his hands on Tuesday night. This spot never came up, but it looked like they were going to let him hit. Now he's had 3 days of recovery time. You wonder if he is.
He wouldn't be down on the bench if you'd see him there. He'd be down in the cage. You wouldn't see him there.
Good point. So it looks like they have made up their mind. Ron Renicky was.
He'd be in full
not
sweat
tipping his
mode
hand.
too.
Probably down underneath, hitting off the tee.
That or getting stretched out or getting as loose as he possibly could, because with a calf strain especially, you don't want to go out there cold. So
that is not a position of a man who is going to hit, you're saying?
That is not a position of strength for the Brewers right there. No. Unfortunately.
Well, the Brewers will have Kataris to lead off, and then Weeks, Morgan, if anybody gets on, Hart, and of course Fielder after that. But Estrada trying to do all he can to keep it at a 2-run deficit, and that's not an easy task with Joey Votto, who has a home run and a double tonight. He's also walked. Has a homer against Estrada in his career. Estrada made his Brewers debut against Cincinnati last year.
Got him look for the changeup right there. Little 9-1-1 swing.
So it makes him a great hitter, huh? Able to foul that pitch off. He fouls off the tough ones, it seems, and when he gets a mistake, he usually doesn't miss. The reigning MVP in the National League. And an all-star once again.
Everything starts with handling that fastball away, VA. Breaking pitches coming to the barrel. That's a good pitch right there.
Broke his bat. Estrada covers. And that's a side. Good inning. Marco Estrada, 3 up, 3 down. We go to the bottom of the ninth. The Brewers down a pair. Cordero coming in. Posed and inflicted. Back up the middle. Bencourt. Oh my goodness! My goodness! Did that just happen? Finishes are earned and celebrated. Morgan down the right field line. And the Brew Crew pull one out tonight. Nigel Morgan. A walk-off double. It's the last word. The closing act. The final step. The whole point. We don't remember the start. We never forget the finish. Fielder launches! Punch fielder! Ball game! And the Brewers are hoping for that kind of moment tonight. Francisco Cordero is on the pitch for Cincinnati, the Reds closer. 17 saves this year. His last time out, he blew a save against the Cardinals on Wednesday. George Kataris leads off. Rally hats are on. The Brewers down 2, bottom of the ninth. Kataris, then back to the top of the order. Weeks and Morgan. If anybody gets on, it'll be Hart.
Tough customer in Cordero. Second leading save leader behind Mariano Rivera. It's pretty good company.
Among active pitchers, Cordero has been a big-time closer in this league for a long time now. He blew 8 saves last year. Had a 40-plus save season and a division championship season for the Cincinnati Reds.
He broke out a little wrinkle there with a changeup. Gutierrez.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Brewers need a base runner and then take a shot at it. Got a home run hitter coming up next in Weeks. Kataris certainly has plenty of power. Reds with 3 in the 7th to take the lead as Kataris takes ball 3. In St. Louis on Wednesday, the Reds had an 8-0 lead. Cardinals had chipped away. Cordero gave up a game-tying home run to John Jay in the 9th inning. George had a good cut.
Nice swing ball 4 right there.
Tough duty, your first at bat of the night against Francisco Cordero.
They're all tough in the big league today. That pitch was borderline height.
And George lays off. Kataris with a great at bat. He draws the walk, and the Brewers will send the tying run to the plate. And that sends the Reds manager pacing in the dugout.
Interesting pitch selection right there from Cordero. 86-mile-an-hour changeup or slider. I'm not really sure what that pitch was, but interesting pitch selection.
So here is Weeks. Inside the park home run in the 3rd. He doubled and drove in a run in the 5th. Representing the tying run. Swinging a hot bat. Cordero now 36 years of age. Had a 40 save season in Milwaukee. That was an all-star season for Cordero in 07. Saved 44. Two balls, no strikes. And Ricky Weeks has worked the count in his favor.
Pitcher's count right here, 2-0. Fastball away. He's been staying on the ball pretty well.
Going back with a slider. And the 2-0, and it hangs up. Stairs, ball 3. We have seen Brewer hitters swing away 3-0 a great deal this year. See if Ricky has the green light. He does. Takes a mighty hack. And it's 3-1. Trying to tie it up right there on a 3-0 pitch.
However's power. Pulled his head a little bit on this one. See that little head come flying out of there.
And Weeks lifts one high in the air to right. Back is Bruce with room. And Weeks just missed one. Out number 1. Cordero comes back down 3-0, and he gets Weeks for the first out of the inning.
Just missed on this 3-1 slider out over the plate. Just hit it right below the ball just a little bit. Bat out in front. He knew it. He was right there with it. Just missed it.
Here's Nigel Morgan. Morgan has had a flair for the dramatic this year. And he takes a strike. Fastball from Cordero. See what Morgan's done in the late innings. And a 4 RBI game against Minnesota, including a game-tying double. And that one goes to the screen. And Kataris will end up at second base. That takes the Reds out of a double play chance. And now a base hit makes it a 1-run game.
This one just got away from Cordero. A 2-run lead, though. Outfielders are very deep for Morgan. Playing no doubles in this situation.
The 1-1. Morgan swings. Line drive right field. That's down. A base hit. That'll go to the wall. Kataris will score. Morgan on his way to third. And he'll make it to third. A triple for Nigel Morgan. The tying run 90 feet away.
Gotta love that guy. Coming up big again. Mr. Offense right here. Big situation for Corey Hart. Nigel Morgan. Changeup up, out, over the plate. I don't know, man. Has there been a guy that's had any more bigger hits than Nigel Morgan this last month?
What an impact he has made. The fact that he drives in the run is the first step. The fact that he ends up at third base with 1 out and the Brewers with a golden opportunity to tie this up is step 2. Tony Plush delivers once again an RBI triple, his 5th triple. And the Reds forced to bring their infield in. Corey Hart will bat. Got Fielder on deck. Hart fouls it away. Cordero gave him a fastball. started with a Kataris walk. Scores on the Morgan triple. A lot of ways to score a run here. Doesn't take much to get Nigel Morgan to the plate. He's got great speed. As Hart takes strike 2, a fastball from Cordero, and it's 0-2 on Hart.
2 fastballs on the inner half. I guess the Reds have learned their lesson. 3 sliders for base hits up the middle by Corey Hart earlier in the game. Got to watch this slider in the dirt right here.
Hart, a bouncing ball. Here comes Morgan. The throw from Cozart skips in, and out is the call. Hannigan hangs on to the baseball. A violent collision at home plate. A great play by Cozart, and the Reds cut down the potential tying run. Wow.
That's a heck of a play right here by Hannigan. Cozart being tested, the young kid going on contact on the play. Hannigan with a backhand play. I don't know how he came up with that play. Wow.
That is just a great play.
Look at this backhand on that ball.
That's as good as it gets by a catcher. Can't do it any better than that. Sometimes you got to tip your hat. A low throw, dugout,
and a guy barreling down on you.
Well, the Brewers are down a run, and the man they want at the plate, representing the winning run, fielder against Cordero. Corey Hart at first. And that one's on the outside corner for strike 1. Fielder didn't agree. Just 2 career hits against Cordero. Prince had a walk-off home run earlier this year against Colorado.
It's going to happen. It's going to have to be out over the left center field area. I don't think Cordero's going to come in at this point.
7-6. The Brewers are down a run. Outfielders practically standing up against the wall.
Cordero reached back for a little bit more on that one. 95.
One ball, 1 strike on Fielder. And he fights it off foul. That one got by him a little bit. Fielder down to the count, 1-2. And now the Brewers down to their last strike. Back with a breaking ball. And Fielder lays off. Good block from Hannigan. That's big. That keeps Hart at first base. Well, the Reds are looking at a star of the game behind the plate if they hang on to win this one. Ryan Hannigan with some defensive gems already. That scoop he made on Nigel Morgan will certainly be one they'll revisit. 2-2. Fielder lays off. Full count to Prince. Now Hart will be on the move with the pitch, which gives him a chance to score the tying run on a base hit. Well, if you're Cordero, your bread and butter pitch is the slider. What do you do?
It'd be interesting to see if he throws a strike right here.
That's right in Fielder's wheelhouse. Full count. Hart takes off, and Fielder takes ball 4. Cordero is going to take his shot against Casey McGee. But in doing so, he puts the tying run in scoring position. And here steps McGee once again in the spotlight. Another terrific at-bat by Prince Fielder. He has had some success against Cordero in his career. His 4 out of 7. Prince represents the winning run. Can McGee do it again? Got a game winner on Wednesday. And a little tapper over to third. Up with it at Rowland. The throw to first is late. An infield hit. And the bases are loaded. Casey McGee, of all people, with an infield hit. And the Brewers still in business in the 9th inning.
Scott Roll coming around that ball. Mark Kotsay up here with the bases loaded. Cordero's going to have to try and earn this one.
Casey McGee running for his life to beat it out. We're going to have a pinch runner. See the bases loaded. Fielder is going to be replaced by Gomez. Now that the potential winning run is in scoring position, Fielder is lifted from the game. And the fastest base runner the Brewers have at their disposal is at second base. The Cincinnati outfielders, all with very good arms, as you see Kotsay's numbers against Francisco Cordero. And you figure Gomez, he'll be off with the crack of the bat. He should be able to score on a base hit. Boy, what a setting here at Miller Park. 40,000 on their feet. Another dramatic finish. Can the Brewers come through? Kotsay, who delivered a go-ahead home run in the 6th. Strike on the corner. Getting that outside corner. 94-mile-an-hour fastball from Cordero. Cordero has thrown 26 pitches in this inning. Game on the line. The Brewers down a run. 2 outs in the 9th. Ball and a strike. Cut and a miss. Got a piece of it. And Kotsay down in the count, 1-2. Again, the Brewers down to their last strike. And an RBI triple from Nyjer Morgan to bring him within a run. Now Kotsay trying to deliver a game winner. Gomez representing the winning run at second. Tying run over at third in Corey Hart. And the 1-2. Kotsay takes a ball. 2-2. And you know Cordero does not want to go full here.
He's not afraid to throw up underneath the hands of Kotsay. That's a dangerous pitch. When you got that kind of command, I guess. Up and tight on Kotsay, trying to pound him inside.
2-2 pitch. Kotsay, base hit right field. Hart will score. Here comes Gomez. The throw, not in time. Gomez scores, and the Brewers walk off a winner tonight. Mark Kotsay comes through. What a moment at Miller Park. Mark Kotsay with his defining moment as a Milwaukee Brewer so far. Our Menards player of the game, a 2 RBI single. The Brewers come all the way back, and they win it 8-7 on a 2-out 2-strike hit from Mark Kotsay.
That's exactly right. 6th inning gets him ahead with the go-ahead home run. I always like to have that veteran leadership out there. He's been forced into action with Ryan Braun being hurt. Coco Cordero trying to come inside with that fastball. Kotsay taking a chance, looking for that fastball in the inside, was able to poke that ball into right field. Renicky pushing all the buttons right there by putting Gomez in at second base. And it turned out as a Brewers win. Definitely a swing game in the standings. A big win for the Brewers tonight.
Well, the Brewers go to 48 and 42, back-to-back wins against the Cincinnati Reds. And let's send it down to the star of the game, Mark Kotsay with Telly Hughes.
Thanks so much, B.A. Down to your last strike, Mark. I know you just wanted to put the bat on the ball, but what's going through you at that point and when you knew that you had the chance to get the game-winning hit?
You know, a lot was running through my head. Obviously, the error earlier in the game that put us behind. Just wanted another chance to redeem myself a little bit. Got that chance, was prepared. Had a lot of at-bats against him in the past, and just didn't want to get beat with a split in the dirt there. He made a great pitch. I pulled my hands in and fortunately hit it soft enough for Gomez to score.
We thought that go-ahead home run you had earlier in the game would be your defining moment so far as a Brewer, but of course that trumps that. And just the feeling it had to even be put in that position after, like you said, feeling so badly after making that error.
No, it's a great feeling. Anytime you compete, you want a chance to be in the spot to win a game. And fortunately, I was up there, and a great thing happened. It's a game. We've beat them 2 games in a row now, so we've got 2 left.
Well, you're missing a guy like Ryan Braun who brings so much to this team, and you filling in primarily for him. You just try to chip in, but being able to contribute the way you have, it has to be a good feeling for you and this team.
That's what I wanted to do when I signed here. I wanted to sign up and help contribute. Hopefully one day into the season we'll walk home with the ultimate goal in our hand.
And finally, come on, Cots! All right, I guess I took enough. If it's time, let's send it up to you, Craig, for the start of Brewers Live.